let's get this switch over to live. Hello, folks. How are you doing? All right, let's so we're gonna keep playing with this. Going here. Yeah. What we'll do is we're going to redo my Be Right Back screen, sort of like we did my going live stream, and we're gonna pep this up a little bit, and I think we're gonna animate it. Once we get some of the assets done. Not 100% sure yet, but I think we'll animate it. Because I think it'd be kind of cool to have me and my daughter over here and my cat on my deck, just sort of a little bit of motion here and there. Maybe like have her kicking her feet or something like that. Have her sort of rocking a little bit while she looks at the computer screen. And then I think we'll have like my hand moving, have the mouse moving, that kind of thing. And then we'll have the slideshow like we do already in the Be Right Back screen. We'll have that in that box that you see right there. But we're going to redo some of this font. We're going to play with this. And we're going to make it look a little bit better. And we're basically using the assets that came from my banner, which is what I use for like YouTube and that kind of stuff. So, and the slideshow will fit right in this. What did I make this? 880? 880. 880 is big enough because the pictures are all 1080, 1080. So we'll just scale it down. We'll scale down the asset in OBS and we'll make it work. All right, so we got my daughter on the desk here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make assets here. So in order to do this, we're going to get started. And let's see here. There we go. All right, so now what we got to do is we got to name all these assets, or anything that we want animated, we need to name. So the lollipop is not one asset, but we'll group that into one asset. And we'll go down here. And we'll call it lollipop. So that will have sort of a slight animation. We'll have her like hand rotating a little bit or something. Sort of, we'll put a little motion in. I don't know how we're going to animate it yet, but we're going to animate it. And then what we'll do is we'll put that as my Be Right Back screen, and then we'll have the slideshow currently like it is now, sort of playing in that window. So we'll go here, lollipop. We'll do. Let's do. This will be left hand, and we'll do left thumb, and they're going to be separate for animation purposes. That way the lollipop can look like it cuts through that. You see that right there? Because otherwise, if the thumb is grouped with the hand, then it would be in front of the lollipop stick. So it wouldn't actually look good. So over here, we will go with, what are we going to call you? Left arm. And we will do, this should be, yeah, left sleeve. Because we're going to animate this. So all this needs to be... Normally, I don't worry too much about like naming and everything, but considering we're going to be animating it, we kind of need to do this. Now, for this hand, the thumb and that can be grouped, and we'll just call this right hand. All right, cool. Let's go up. This is out of place. Just the shade here. Let's smooth this. This needs to be more down here to actually look appropriate. So we'll kind of go in that neighborhood right there. Perfect. Okay. So this is nested in the hair. Yes, all that's nested in the hair actually. So why is this in there? Okay. So this will be, we'll call this hair back. And then what we'll do is hair front. Yeah, we'll group these. Hair front. Yeah, hair front will work. And then what do we want to have animated? If we're going to animate the eyes and everything, we should animate blinking as well. So in order to animate blinking, it's pretty easy. We'll basically copy and paste that asset, bring it to the front, get rid of this, and then go with the same color, or actually we'll go slightly darker. So that'll be the blink right there. So we'll need to name this eyelid. So we'll do that in just a minute. And these are the little things that I'm sort of figuring out as I learn how to animate, is how to be a little more efficient with like the naming conventions and everything. Hey, water bottle, how are you? Let's go with... So I streamed it last night. The reason I'm streaming today is my daughter wanted to go hang out with a friend for a little bit today. And they actually had a little bit of time today for a couple hours. So I figured I might as well stream for a little bit. Because I don't know if I will be streaming tonight at all. So I wanted to go ahead and get the stream in there. Alright, so this is going to be... Okay, so we got to do this right. We're going to animate the Be Right Back screen, where we currently have the slideshow. And, yeah, it just felt like getting a little streaming. That's what I was saying last night. I'd probably do a couple surprise streams this week, considering I am off. I think we'll throw in a couple extra ones. I don't know how many, but we'll do a couple extras. Alright, let's go with... This is going to be left eye. That going to be left eye? We're going to group this. We're going to go left eye. Left eye. Yes, left eye. Hey, Elder. Thanks for the ice cream. Diamond and lemon. Thanks, buddy. How are you, sir? Group this. And we will go right eye. Now, we got to go to the top. You know, I'm really glad that chat's working now. You haven't seen me on it forever. So I took like a month off, dude. I took like a month off, Elder, because I just had a lot going on. And we're just kind of slowly getting back into the grind, getting back into things, you know, having fun. Hey, Craiger, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I didn't know how many people would show up today, but I appreciate it for sure. Right eyelid. So for anyone that's curious, we are currently setting up this asset for animation. Doing well. Good, man. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, too. I can't complain. Cannot complain. Alright, so this is going to be left leg. I wasn't going to stream today, this morning anyways, but my daughter decided to go hang out with a friend. So I was like, well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and pop in here and do a little bit of creative. Why not? Hey, Elder. Thank you for the host, buddy. How are you, sir? Good to see you guys. So I'm thinking about redesigning my character a little bit. Because here's the old Darcy as opposed to the new Darcy. And you can see just how much more detail and what there is going on there. So I think we are going to touch up mine as well. I think we're going to make some changes to it before we animate this. And then we'll get the text how we want it. And we'll figure things out. So right leg, what is this? Alright, so this all needs to be in that laptop. Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, you know, it was one of those things where I just, I figured why not? Let's get a stream in while I have the time, you know? Because it's like anybody, we don't always have the time. So, it's nice to get those streams in while you can, you know? For sure. Alright. So that's all one asset now. We're going to take the stickers and we're going to put them into the laptop. So we're going to get rid of these since you're not even going to see that because the stickers are going to go over it. Good. The mouse and the hand are one asset. So we can make the fingers sort of go up and down and stuff. Okay. So you know, I didn't get a Stream Deck during the sale. I saw them on sale. I didn't pull the trigger, man. Those things, I hear people talk about how good they are, but I can't. For me, it's sort of a hard thing to justify that $100. Impromptu streams. Yeah, you kind of have to, right? Like, it's nice to have a schedule and everything, and you try to stick to a schedule if you can. But the big problem I find with that is I love trying to have a schedule. I really do. But it's difficult to really adhere to it because, you know, you sort of bounce all over the place. You've got different things going on. You've got, you know, you didn't either and you kind of regret it. I'm torn on it too, Elder. Like, I'm like, should I have gotten it? Should I have gotten it? You know, it was a good price, but to me, now this is just me personally, I hear people who have Stream Deck and they love it, but I look at it and I'm like, that seems like a really expensive button. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one day I'll just buy one and see what all the fuss is about, you know? It just seems really, really expensive. For what is just a couple clicks with a mouse, you know what I mean? Like, I can I have 3 monitors. So I can just click on another scene over here. I don't know. Not bad talking it, just, you know, I don't know. I haven't seen the value. I think what I would like to do, I'd honestly love to try one. I wish I had a friend or something that lived local. You know what I mean? And I could just sort of try one out. Yeah. The weather down here has been brutal. The last 4 or 5 days, it's been like 110, 115 outside. It's been crazy. Today is the first day where the weather is actually bearable. We're down into like 95, 92, which is, I'll take that over hundreds. It's been smoking hot here. All right, so we've got this we're going to label as the laptop. Sorry, guys, this is sort of tedious. I've got to go in and I've got to get all the assets named and everything and get everything ready to animate. You can look what's behind the monitor. There's not even a body, right? This is the fun of doing art like this. Like, you can, look at this. The arms are messy too, but it really doesn't matter because all that's concealed. Use your phone. So I've seen people do that. See, right there. I've seen people do that, Elder. And I've been thinking about trying that out. Because isn't there an app you can sync with slobs and it, like, gives you the buttons? Because here's the thing. I have an old phone up here, right? And I thought about doing it with that old phone. Oh, yeah, right, Krager. I know. It's been absolutely brutal. All right, so we're going to group these. And we're going to take this to the back. So we're going to call this power cords. Because when you go to animate this thing, you're going to want... I haven't tried it myself. Dude, I might try that, because it's funny. I was cleaning up above my desk the other day, and my old Motorola phone, which is perfectly fine, it just doesn't have a SIM card. It's got, a screen about like this. It's literally just sitting there. I might do that. I might run that thing up here, plug in the cable, and try it out before I order a Stream Deck. Why not, right? Save $100 or 150 or whatever it is now. All right. So we're doing desk legs. So you can have it so I can... Yeah, I don't like it though. I don't like the way it does it, Elder. I don't like the way it does it. Maybe it's just me. I don't like the way it looks. The way it says, like, it puts everything in parentheses. It says, like, DLive/user/ and then I don't know. I kind of like it on the screen, I think. Because I saw a couple people using it, and it just looks so cluttered to me. Maybe it's just my eyes, but maybe I'm just getting old. But I didn't like the way it looked. You know what I mean? Are you using it? If so, what do you think? Power outlet. What is this? All right, this is gonna be slideshow shadow. We'll do this at 45. Good. And I think we'll do this at 18. Yeah, we'll do that at 18. Which means we can center everything in the center of that. All right, cool. Let's keep going with the assets here. So this is going to be... I feel like we should... How do I want to animate this? Yeah, I'll have people chatting. I might turn it on next stream and see what it's all about. I don't know, it just looks sort of... It looked clumsy to me. But maybe it's just me. Alright, so this is going to be their nose. Which we're not going to be moving her nose. We're not going to be using her freckles. Finger clicking? That's what I'm thinking, Craig. Like, have the finger clicks. Yeah, I just don't like the way it looks. I wish they would make it look a little better, and I'd be a little more sold on it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm bouncing all over while we get these assets straight. Okay, so this is the laptop. Nothing is going to animate with the laptop. The laptop is just going to sit idle, right? We're going to redo my character. We've got all this name. We've got the desk name. We need to get the chair into one asset. So we'll just rename this chair. Because when we go to animate this thing, you're going to want... You'll see why. At first, when I started learning how to animate, I wouldn't go out of my way to, like, name things properly. But now that I animate, and I'm learning how to animate, you want to name stuff properly, or you're going to be in for a world of hurt when you go to actually start doing it. You're going to be like, ugh. So we'll go here. We'll call this chest. Now for these, we're going to group Darcy into one big solid group because it'll read the group. So we'll go like this. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to keep the legs out front. So we're going to group this into one group. And then we'll do this Darcy back. And then we'll call this Darcy front. Because of the way it's going to animate, we need to do this. Because we want the legs to appear in front of the desk. And we want the hand to appear back. All right, power cords, desk, good. Laptop. We're not worried about me right now. All right. We'll redo this drink because I'm going to have the ice cubes like floating around in there and stuff. And we'll do some stuff like that. We've got the lollipop named. So this is an asset and this is an asset. Cool. And we already have them named left leg, right leg? Yes. Okay. Yep. So left leg, right leg. Good. Okay. So her mouth is going to be, so we're going to ungroup this for 1 second because we've got this. We've got chest. We've got neck. See, that's not named, and that's important. Neck. So we're going to do, the ears aren't, if the ears move, they're going to move with the head. So we are actually going to take this entire group and group into one solid mass. There we go. If anybody has any questions, like always, feel free to ask. I can try to help answer some stuff. Other than that, just watch me mumble on to myself here. Alright, so this is going to be the face. Now, the eyes, I think we're going to animate the eyelids. We're going to animate the pupils. Yeah, we'll do those. I think there's no S on the end, water bottle. I think it's just social, I think. Yeah. Yep. It's cool, it's cool. I understand, Elder. I understand. I wouldn't be streaming right now if I wasn't off work, so thank you. I appreciate the donos. I appreciate that look, buddy. Thank you. Alright, so this is going to be the face. So if the face moves, the face is going to move on a pivot. So the face will bend sort of on a pivot down here like this, right? If we do animate it, we'll have her little head sort of bouncing around there. We'll keep that the way it is. Let's go with the... Yep, that's all named. That's named. That's named. Good. Neck. Okay. Now we're going to group this entire asset into one solid lump. And then we're going to look in it and make sure everything's named. Okay, so this is left pupil. And then we're going to do right pupil. Are you off today, water bottle, or you just haven't gone to work yet? We're going to do... We're going to go like this. We're going to group this, and we're going to say left eyebrow. And group this, and we're going to say right eyebrow. Cool. Alright. Now, what are we going to do with the mouth? I don't think we're going to have her mouth really change... Should we have her mouth change shape at all, or should it just stay pretty static? Because we could go like this, mouth, smile, right? And we could do a switch layer and put as many mouths as we want. But maybe we'll do sort of an inquisitive mouth. We'll do no stroke. We'll go here, we'll grab this, we'll grab the tongue. Whoops. That way everything sort of matches. See, we'll take this, copy this, and paste in here. Good. So, what effectively we just did, we made a second mouth. So when we animate this, we can basically animate on a switch layer, and we can switch between mouths. So we'll basically put this right here, so the mouth will look like it sort of switches. So if we turn off this one, you see, something like this, right? And it's just an idea. We can rotate this a little more and sort of put that up in there with that shadow. So let's go with... The mouse will be at the front. Let's take the mouse to the very front. The pupils will be behind the eyelids. That makes sense. Right eye, left eye, face. Good, good. We'll go here. And we'll go there. Okay, so this is going to be mouth. Oh, we'll just call it mouth 2. That way it's all named appropriately. All right, cool. So we've got mouth 1, 2. And we'll go right there with it. Sort of right there. And we can move this around once we get it into the animation software. So we've got everything named for her other than the pants. It's the only thing we don't have named. So we'll say left leg pant. And we'll do right leg pant. This looks like fun, doesn't it? Okay, so sleeve, hand, hair front, hair back. All right, good. So then we will name this group as Darcy, right? That way it's done. So now this entire character is ready for animation, which is good. The desk is not going to move. The legs aren't going to move. Power cords aren't going to move. The cap. We could get pretty crazy with what the cap can do if we really want to. And I don't want to do, just to clarify, I don't want to do like any sort of crazy animations. I want to sort of just do this sort of a subtle, just subtle, like her kicking her legs and the mouse moving and stuff. I don't want to get too crazy with the animations here. This is going to be like a full-on cartoon or something. We're going to keep it pretty low-key. So, all right. What should we do for the fonts? Let's go here. Let me check something here. Let's go with change that up. Okay. So we're sort of brainstorming here. We're going to get rid of these. Now we'll leave those over there as assets. So this is the original, and we're sort of mixing it up. We're not going to do the pictures on the wall. I don't know if I want to do any sort of effects, like any sort of a glare or gloss or anything. That's tough. We could do. Let's see what this would look like. This might look weird. But you know what? We don't know until we try. So we're going to try. Let's turn it yellow. Now, we're going to go with like 20% opacity. 10%? Let's send it to the back. Because it wouldn't give off that much light. I was thinking maybe like illumination from the computer screen. But it's not going to give off that much light. So I think we're safe just sort of doing it this way. Sort of the way it is. Now we just need to get this right. And we could animate the font as well if we want to. Which is why I'm trying to decide how I want to handle this. Let's move this down for a minute. What else could we do here? Brainstorm. Shoot. Let's work on me while I think about it. Because I'm not entirely sold on that yet. Alright, let's, we'll copy this out. Paste it. Because I think we're going to sort of maybe redesign my head a little bit. Or, no, you know what? We won't redesign mine. What we'll do is make mine a little bigger. And then what we'll do is we're going to do some shading in here to help sort of drive this home a little bit. Let's see what this looks like with just some shading added to it instead of redesigning the whole thing. I mean, if we have to redesign it, we will. But I think we can kind of pull off a neat look here if we just sort of play around with this. Some of the variables here. All right, let's shade the beard. Sure. Cool part is we can redo these at any point. These are just basic shapes. So we're going to change the color of that to show sort of a shade coming down, right? And we'll just sort of drag this down like this. And we're actually going to go a little darker with it. There we go. Because I want to create a little bit of separation here. Now, here I want to change this a little bit. That's right. I did this in two pieces. I don't know why I did that. I'd have been better off as one, but maybe we'll fix that. We'll fix it right now, as a matter of fact. So we'll take this and this, and we'll combine. There we go. So now that's one solid shape rather than being two. I wonder why I did it. This is an old drawing, by the way, so it's, you know. Okay, we'll put this here. Now, we're going to move my pupils up for the time being because I want to do the same sort of shade effect on the eyeball to help them pop a little bit. And we're gonna use a lot of the same colors I think that we did on her. That way a lot of the complexions and everything look the same. And I know right now the character looks a little worried or concerned. We're gonna fix that, don't worry. Because it's really funny. This is like one of the original character illustrations I have for me and my daughter, and it's an old one. I mean, I've been using this one for a while now. I haven't actually gone back and redone it. Let's go here. We're going to cut that out. And then what we'll do is we'll cut it out again. We'll kind of come here like this. We'll cut that out. That way the pupil has just a little more character to it. So we'll get rid of this. We'll copy. Actually, we'll just drag that over. Find in layer. And we'll call this left pupil. Because again, all this is going to get organized and grouped so that we have some organization here as well. Okay, so left pupil. Good. The eyebrows I actually want a little bigger, I think, than what I had. I think they were a little too narrow. I think what we'll do is we'll sort of put them right there. Give it a rotate. Forgotten, none of these assets are named. Wow. Okay. So this is going to be right eyebrow. And left eyebrow. Alright, cool. The eyes look better already. So the ears, I think big eyebrows, best eyebrows. Yeah! Alright, copy, paste, paste. Yeah, I plan on doing a couple more sort of surprise streams this week, probably, but I don't want to guarantee anything, because, you know, like I said, I can't really, I don't know what, the only reason I'm doing it right now, I would be hanging out with my kid, but she wanted to go see a friend of hers, and I was like, yeah, alright. I get it, Daddy's no fun.
We got a host. Welcome, everyone.
7, dude, thank you for the host, sir. How are you, man? So we're going to take this and go with the same color. Boy, that's awfully dark. I don't know if I like the complexity of that. I might actually redo some of this to be a little less. Yeah, I think I will. Yeah. I don't like the range of colors there. It's just a little too vivid. A little too vivid. Oh, hi, 7. Yeah. What's up, buddy? Alright, we'll leave my ears the way they are. Yeah, we'll leave them the way they are. Water bottom, my dude. 7. How you doing today, man? You working? Probably are by now. You really want to see that octopus scene animated? Like, is that a serious thing? Because we could do like a quick, sort of fun animation on it. Okay, I'm gonna start like this, and then we're gonna redesign this a little bit. I think I don't have a choice. It'd be a funny thing to animate, right? It would be a little odd, a little peculiar, but we could do it. That's good. I like the way that's looking. So let's get all of these assets done. We will do, this is going to be mouth 2. So we'll do multiple mounts with me as well. That way we can kind of play around with the placement. And then what we'll do is we'll rig this up in a way that it'll look pretty cool when we're done. Let's give the hair some detail. Yeah, we'll kind of go here like this. We'll play with this. Okay, I like the way that looks. That's got a nice look to it. The way the shading works off that, that's cool. Do you have any requests if I animate it? Maybe that's a better question. Is there anything you would like to see on it, or do you think would be funny? Because I think what I'll do, I'm not gonna like get it done tomorrow or anything, but I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and rig it up, and I'll start playing with the animation side of it, and we'll see if we can't bring it to life a little bit. Thing with that is that's a big animation, so it'll probably just be sort of a labor of love and a little bit here and a little bit there kind of thing. Let's go. I like it. That looks a lot better. Alright. So we're actually going to... I think we're going to bring these off the eyes. Yeah, I like them off the eyes a little bit. Alright, good. So we're starting to get somewhere. We've got... This is just going to be hair. We're not worried about animating those. That's already named. What is this? This is lower mouth. Nose? We're preparing this for animation, by the way, but that's why this looks... That's why we're doing this, in case you're curious. Okay, so we need to group these eyes. So this needs to be... left eye. Right eye. What are you? That's the shade, so that can just go in there as well as this. Those don't need to be by themselves. Alright, cool. This is going to be this same color. Alright. Good. What else do we need to do? What is this? This is going to be upper face. I forgot I broke those down into multiple. That would be a reason not to do it this way now that I realize that. But we'll fix that next time. We'll call this hair. Yeah, that would actually be a reason not to do this. But we'll do... left ear. And then we'll do right ear. Good. Alright. We got mouth. Now this is all within the face, right? And this is going to be in the mouth. Yeah, there we go. Good. All the way down. Now we're going to name the assets for the... We'll name this JerHenning. Okay, good. Now let's move on to the... I don't think we're going to have my legs doing much of anything. I think they're just going to sort of stay idle. So what we'll do is we'll actually grab all this, and then we'll group it, and then we will go to it, and we'll just call it Jer legs. And then what we'll do is when we're done, we'll group all this together. We'll call this cup, because I think we're going to redo the cup a little bit as well. I want to make that look a little more... I want to make it pop a little bit more. So we'll do Jer legs. Now, this is... What is this? This is like the left arm, we'll call it, where the elbow would be. And we'll say... So this one you don't even see. We don't even need it. Right arm. Okay. So this is where we need to get some naming done. So this is going to be the mouse. Okay. Mouse. Let's do... I don't know if I want to get that physical, but let's do it. We'll do thumb, pointer. Actually, we'll just name them down. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 this way. Because it should go 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, and then this will be the hand. Which we'll actually bring down a little bit. Good. Alright, cool. So this is going to be... We're going to call this right hand mouse. That'll all be one group, which will be easy to sort of animate. But now if we look at this, this is all one solid group, one solid group. The chair is a group, which is fine. Should we leave the cat and should we animate the cat? Maybe just animate his tail and his head moving? What do you guys think? Because we'll have to break those assets up if we animate him. We'll do it. Why not? It'll be fun. Okay, so let's... What do we got? The head is done. Right, now this is going to be the pupils, so we need to figure that out. That's going to go in here, right? Oh, we got to do eyelids for me. Man, I'll tell you, the things you think of. Animate eyes and tail. Let's say, yeah. Let's do... We already named that. Left pupil, right pupil. We need eyelids. I'm glad I thought of that now. We'll go here. Copy, paste. We'll bring it to the front. Copy and paste. Alright. Find in the panel. Oh, that's because it's grouped. Alright. So this needs to go to this color. We'll go slightly darker, not much. Alright, now this is going to be left eyelid. You can see where this is a lot of work getting all this done, but like I've said before, this is one of those things, like, once you have this in place, it's worth it. Because it makes the animation so much easier. So with this color, now we're going to name this right eyelid. Alright, good. So now, the eyelids are going to be basically on a switch layer, right? So the eyes will switch between open to blink in order to give them just a little more, so they don't just look like statues like this all the time with their eyes wide open. So that works out. Okay, so everything is grouped together. Jer head right here. Okay. So now we're going to group my character together. So we will call this Jer. Good. So now everything is named and it's grouped. So now let's go with... Guess we could group all this? Or power cord, desktop. Oh, why are those in there? I don't want those in there. Desk legs. Alright, so we'll go here. So we're gonna group this as the desk. We'll call this, because this is going to be static. It's not moving, right? So for that, we're also going to drag in the power cord into that, the power outlet. Because if it's not going to be moving, we don't need to worry about it. It's basically just going to sit still. The laptop's going to sit still. Good. What is this going to be? We're going to call this slideshow window. I think that'll work. But then we got Darcy. Yeah, that's right. This is going to be Darcy back. Okay. Alright. This is going to be the slideshow shadow. I think we'll go here. She just needs to be right behind the desk. Yep. Perfect. Alright, so I think we almost have the placement done. We're going to redo this font somehow, some kind of way. We need to redo the cat. So what is this exposure I have on here? Alright, so we can get rid of this exposure. Alright, we need to redo some of this. Again, this is sort of an early drawing, so some of this just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Let's take the cat and we'll move him up. Let's make this look a heck of a lot better than it does now. We'll get rid of this. We'll cut this and we'll put it here. Grab this tool and we're just going to make some small streaks. It's funny when you go back and you visit, especially when it's digital. It's really, really interesting when you go back and you visit a picture that you did so long ago. And you sort of look at like how you did it and you try to remember why you did it the way you did it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because I'm seeing all kinds of like mistakes in the ways that I did things that need to be cleaned up. But that's cool because that shows progress. So that's not a bad thing. It just shows you how much you've grown. Alright. You know what I mean? Like right there what I just did. Why I would have done it that way, I have no idea. But hey, we learn. Alright, so we've got this here. This works. Let's start breaking down the cat. So we're going to leave this on him. His little collar here. So we will group all of this. Yes, we'll group all this. And we will call it collar. And what is the... What did I do here? Why the world did I do it like this? Don't know. Why did I do it that way? Okay. So if I group all this, yep. You know what, actually? I should be able to group all of this, I think, at the same time. Yep. Which is gonna essentially... Wait, what is this? So what is this? Let's delete this real quick and see if we even need that. We don't even need that. Why was it there? Alright. This could all be here. Yes. So this is a dead group. Which means this would be called collar. Way to go, Jeremiah. Alright. We're going to call this the body. And we will do... Yeah, let's do body. We'll do front legs. We'll do front legs here. I think. You know, honestly, we could redo these feet as well. I think we're going to redo the tail. I think we're going to redo almost everything on this cat. See, we're not going to use... This is what I was talking about. Did you see that water bottle? That's what I was talking about last night. I shouldn't have used opacity there. What I should have done is use this and then just color step to color. You see that? That's the color step as opposed to using opacity, which is what I ran into with that shirt. It was... I'm so used to using opacity when I want to create that effect, because that was sort of the way I did things originally, that I've got to kind of undo those steps to make sure that I'm moving in the right direction going forward. So now these are not opaque at all. They're just a different color, which is the correct way to do it. But we live and learn. All right, so for these eyes, let's... We'll come up in here. And I think we could do some little white streaks in there, but we'll play with it. We've got his little collar. Let's fix these front legs. I don't like the way these front legs are gelling right now. Not a big fan. So let's do... How do I want to do them? We could... Let's break him up. Actually, you know what? We'll group him and we'll move him over just in case, because we're getting ready to get quite destructive. And I want to keep that as a valid asset. Alright, let's go like this, where the legs are right conjoined with the body. Get rid of this for right now. Alright, now, the reason we're going to try it like this is we're going to give them the same color. So we're actually... Make sure I'm doing this right. What is this? What are we looking at here? What did I do? Oh, they're grouped with the toes. Alright, so we need to break them up. See, even this was something I made, and look at me stumbling with it. Alright. So we're going to get rid of these. We'll go to the same color here. We'll grab this, and we will go to the same color as this. And there's a reason we're going to do that. we're going to change the way we shaded this. Alright, cool. So now, if we want to shade this, we'll just take this under here. We'll go with this color. We'll cut it. We'll paste inside the neck like that. Now, we need to change... I wonder why I did it this way, but we'll get that straight. Alright, so now it looks better. Boy, that learning will get you every time. Let's go here. We'll go right in front of the body like this. Now we need to shade these. So we will take this and we'll create a custom sort of shade shape. Now, it's going to look really big at first, and that's fine. We just want to get it into the body like this. And then we can sort of pivot it and figure out where that shading needs to be, right? To really highlight this. And I would say the shape needs to be a little bit thinner, because all we're trying to do is sort of show the edge of the arm and the body here. You see? Sort of like that. Looks like this one must be bigger, or a bigger pivot or something. Okay, cool. Alright. Good. And we can do the same thing for the back legs. And I don't mind the arrangement for the back legs. I think we just need to redo the coloring of them. Yep, same concept. We'll take this. Cool. Come in here. And all we're doing is creating that slight separation between the body parts, right? Because without that, everything would look sort of muddled, which is what we're trying to avoid. Calico Cat, yeah. This is my buddy, man. He passed away right after we got back from Disney. Well, we had to put him down, but yeah, that was my buddy Cat right there, man. K-Puff. And it was funny because before I really started streaming, he would always sit on my desk while I played games and I would draw and stuff. So this is sort of a little, you know, memorandum toward him, because he'd always lay right here in front of me, or he'd sit right here and he'd like stare at the screen while I drew and I played games and stuff. And he'd always lay right next to my arm and purr. He would just purr as loud as he could, and he used to love to just be right next to me. So when I drew this picture, I had to put him here with us, because that's just where he always was. Yep. Alright, cool. So we're going to go like that, and we're going to play with those little feet. We're going to give them some dimension. I want to change the coloring of this, I believe. I don't like that dark blue. I want to go more like this. That looks a little more natural. Cool. Good. Looking better all the way around. Now this I did as a stroke. Is this a stroke? It is a stroke. Okay. So we're going to go here, and then this is an actual shape. Okay, he's shaping up. He looks, I mean, I think if you know, this could just be me because I'm the one looking at it, but I think if you look at the updated one versus the old one, I think it's much improved. I think he just has a better look, where this has more of a blocky look, right? But you also got to realize, like, this was, and we're not done yet, this was some of my first flat illustration stuff. So it's really early on in the process, where now we're moving into more refined what I'm doing now. Just better looking stuff. You know? Yeah, it's neat to see that growth. Like, I think these freaking ears are just a bit too big for my liking. You know what's funny though? As someone who's creative, and I think this would hold true for anything, music, any sort of anything, right? It's weird because when you're doing it, you don't really see the personal growth. Like, it's not as visible, right? Until you really sit back and you look at something and you go, oh, it really starts to sort of click that you've gotten better and that your skill's getting better, you know? It's because it's so funny. I always challenge people. I'm like, you know, look at something you drew. Well, in the case of art, I say, like, look at something you drew. Look at something you drew a year ago. Now compare it to something you've drawn now, right? And sometimes it's fun to go back and take a piece you really liked at that point in time and just redraw it. Just to get a good visual for what it looks like now and the way you would have handled it at the current moment. Yeah, we'll go here. Cool. So we're working on it. Now we need to work on his eyes and stuff. I don't like the way... I like the eyes. I don't like the coloring and everything. Hey, Nick, how you doing? Alright, let's... What do I want to work on? I want to work on this tail, I think. I don't think the tail bugs me. I want it a little bigger, I think. And I want a little more of a turn to it. More like this, I think. Which means we're going to have to actually cut off a portion of that over there. But we're going to get rid of this, because we're going to redo these. I hate the way those look. So I think what we'll do is we'll bring it in a bit like this. Yeah, that'll look better. And then we'll just chop off that side of it a little bit over there. Right out here. Looks good. And we always have this original over here. If we absolutely screw this up, we can just sort of revert back, right? So we'll make this a shape, and we'll cut from this shape, okay? And what that's going to do is that's going to leave us this piece that'll sort of hide behind the cat, right? So then we can sort of resize this. We can move it. We can kind of do whatever we want to with it from here. Kind of like it like this. Let's go up here. We're going to grab this orange, which I feel is almost a little too dark. We may actually play with that. Then try and blender. Ooh, nice. Blender is... So with 2.8, it's going to do 2D and... Well, it does 2D now. But I know they're totally reinventing the wheel for that 2.8 blender or grease pencil stuff. And then, of course, it's really good at 3D.
We got a host. Welcome, everyone.
I'm going to wait for it to fully come out before I start playing with it any more than I already have. Hey, Hellraiser, thank you for the host, buddy. How are you? Alright, let's... We're going to go with this color for now. Like I said, we may change this color up. I don't know. What is going on in this tail? I'm doing good, buddy. Alright, let's go to this tail. It's funny, I'm finding things and I'm scratching my head as to why. What did I do this for? Why would I have done this? That looks hideous. What? Wow. Alright, so we're going to redo this. We're sort of touching up this old drawing, and this was a drawing that I did a long time ago, well over a year and a half ago, and it's sort of the one I used for my a lot of my profiles and stuff, and we're going to animate it. So it's going to be my Be Right Back animation screen, and we're just sort of playing around with it, updating some of the graphics and stuff, and then we're going to work on animating it once we get to that point. Just not quite there yet. Alright, cool. We'll stick this like this. Boy, he looks a lot better already. Look at this. Yeah, he looks remarkably better. If you look at that original, and you look over here, look how much better and well put together the body looks. See, that's what just doing this all the time can do for you, man. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, let's get these eyes right. We'll go right here. And we'll go with this white. And now we're going to drag this out a little bit. And this is going to help the eyes just look a little more three-dimensional. And we're going to do the same thing here. Just like this. There we go. Good. Yeah. Cool. Now I want to do something with these eyes, with the pupils themselves. Now, he had really dark green eyes, so I like the coloring of the eyes, but I don't like these. And I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do some cuts here. And we will... I think we'll kind of come in here. Similar to what we did with my eye up top there. I think we'll just sort of resize some of this. And we'll cut through this. Better. That way it is the sort of the natural white of the eye, as opposed to that whatever that green was. For this, we'll just go a little darker here, and we'll see what this would look like. Complete test, but we'll see. Don't think we need that. Don't think we need that. But one thing we could do if we really want to is we could give the pupil just a bit of a highlight by going like this. I like that. We'll roll with that. Now, I don't like the way that is at the top there. So what we'll do, pink, here, 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 and cut that out. Nice. We're just going to get rid of this pupil altogether. Copy this one and paste it in or on top of this eye here. Now we've got one option, but I think we'll just kind of leave them out like this. Yeah, we got to redo this whole character in terms of naming everything. We haven't named anything on him yet. All right, cool. So he's looking a lot better. I don't think we'll play with looking at it for a minute, just sort of analyzing it to see where we're going to go from here. I like this, so we'll start naming some of this. We'll go right here, and basically we name everything the same we did on the people characters. Just sort of go down and name everything right here, left here. That way, if you want, like, let's say we go to animate this, right? We might have the head turn or whatever. We'll have the ears move with the head, that kind of stuff. All right, so this, all right, that's going to be the head, and we're actually gonna group the hair with it. Yes, we're gonna boom, combine all that. Good. But what are these shapes? You see these shapes? What the heck are these? Why did I have no idea. Wow. I'm like finding shapes that I made in here. I didn't even know were in here. That's crazy. Okay. So for this, I think what we'll do is go here. All right, let's make this a straight. Actually, you know what? No, I don't want to do that yet. I'm not sure that's where I want it. We'll finish this out. And then what we'll do is we'll put a couple more of these. We'll grab this tool here. We'll grab this orange. And then what we'll do is we'll play with making some of these just random little shapes. They would sort of be like little color shapes on the cat. And we'll sort of, you know, just make them in various places. Because he had little orange spots all over him. And I'm still not sold on this color orange yet. What do you guys think? I feel like it's a little too deep, a little too dark of an orange. I think I want it to be a little more, maybe there? I don't know. We'll think about it. Yeah. It's amazing how much better this is looking now. You know, it's weird because and I hate to keep pausing on it, but it's funny because like you don't realize Maybe we ought to do this one day on stream. We'll go back and we'll open up a bunch of old pictures that we've already done. And we'll go through and we'll like completely redo them, completely redesign them. And we'll play around with them. Because like I'm sitting here looking at some of this stuff and I'm like, why would I have done it this way? Okay, see, why were those opaque? That would be fun, right? Just do a complete redesign. It's going to be a completely different thing when I get done, man. I was like, look at these. What was I trying to accomplish with these? I don't even remember. You see these little triangles? What was I... What was I... What was I doing there? Sort of trying to figure that out. I'll have to play with it. Hey, Rook. Thank you for the host, buddy. How are you, sir? Make the cat bigger. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to group the entire cat. Yes, he is now going to be one solid shape. Alright, we're going to go to the back.
Thank you for the diamond.
Ah, Rook, thank you for the diamond, buddy. How are you, man? Good to see you, and thank you for that host, bud. I'm doing good, buddy. We're just working on some little stuff here. I'm sort of revisiting some of my old art. We're kind of playing around with revamping it. Like, this was the original cat. We'll pull him up here so you can see it. But, like, this was the way the original cat looked like. You can see, like, the body, the way I did the legs, and the way I did the formation of the body and everything. How much different it looked. And, because the goal here is this is going to be my Be Right Back screen. We're going to animate it. We're going to have my daughter's legs kick in and have the mouse moving and stuff. And we'll have our little slideshow playing here. But I figured if we're going to animate this, we might as well update the graphics and make it look a lot better than it did. Because this was a very early drawing for me. So there was a lot of things in here now that I would have done way different. So that's what we're doing. Just kind of playing around here. What were you doing? Were you arting or were you playing games? What were you doing over there? Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Much better. Okay. Let's take... We didn't do any opacity here, no opacity here, no opacity there. Good. I'm liking this. What do you guys think? Look good for the cat? Is there anything else you can think of we're missing? Or should we just call it a day on this guy and start naming everything? I feel like I like it. I think we should... One more thing. We'll get into the cat. So we'll call this K-Puff. And we'll open this up. Let's start naming all this. So this is going to be left pupil. And why isn't right pupil way up there with this? And we'll go right pupil. Good. What is this? What am I looking at here? So these are going to be the feet, which they're not really going to move. I don't honestly think his body is going to move much at all. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of lock this entire body here into one group. And we're just going to call it body. Because I don't think we're going to move it. Now, the tail, we are definitely going to move. We're going to do some animation on the tail effects. So we've got the tail, the body. This is going to be left ear, right ear, good. This is neck. This is face. So we've got mouth. And his, you know what, honestly? His mouth and his nose and everything, they're not really going to change much. So we'll just group all this, and we'll just call this mouth, nose. That way it's one group. But what do we got here? What is this? This is the eye. So we'll go right eye. Right eye. Left eye. Cool. Let's work on, what are you? So these are going to be, I don't really want to call them eyebrows, but I mean, for the sake of animation, we will. We'll just say right eyebrow. And we'll say left eyebrow. And this we will curve into the face. It'll be part of the face. Cool. Getting it done. Alright. We got everything named. The only thing that I want to do from here is I want to create pupils. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, it wouldn't really be an eyebrow, but for the way that I animate, right, you still want to have a name attached to it. So yeah, definitely just keep it simple. Because again, like I said, I don't want to do any sort of a crazy animation here. I want to keep it pretty simple. I don't want these characters like jumping up and down or dancing or anything. It's just going to be sort of some low-key movements, eye movements, hand movements, that kind of stuff. Just to give people something to look at with a Be Right Back screen, you know? And really, this is for practice more than anything. I don't know where my phone is. That could be problematic. I will have to find that in a little bit. Where is my phone? Oh well. If somebody needs to get a hold of me, yeah. Alright, so we need to do eyelids. Where are you? So we're going to call this right eyelid. And we're going to go with this color, but slightly lighter, I think. Yeah, I like that. So we'll go left eye, we'll copy and paste. And we'll drag it up as well. And we'll go left eyelid. Nice, fancy. Alright, so now we all look like we're soulless. We all have holes, right? But that's fine. Because I think we might actually be ready for animation at this point. Let me double check and sort of look around. Oh, the cup. Didn't we want to... Yeah, we wanted to do something with the cup. Like maybe make the ice cubes so they can move around a little bit. I mean, think about it like this. The liquid wouldn't really be moving in the cup, right? The liquid's not going to be bouncing too much. But what do you think of the ice cubes sort of bouncing around a little bit? Good idea? Soulless hype. Yeah, right? How did the cup end up grouped with me? That's funny. Okay, so the cup... Okay, there's the cup. Alright, let's move the straw against the side of the cup, because that makes more logical sense that it would be leaning right there, right? You'd say so? Yeah, I think so. Hey, Shady, how are you, buddy? So let's go in here. We will call this... First, we're going to redo this. I don't like the way this looks. So let's just redesign this glass a little bit. And then what we'll do is... We'll revamp these graphics a bit. Yeah, we need to redo this big time. Got back from the office. Right on, dude. Yeah, I'm off this whole week. I took the week off to spend with my daughter because we want to just do some random fun stuff before she starts school again. But she wanted to go hang out with a friend for a couple hours today, so I dropped her off over there so she could do that. And then I'm going to pick her up here in a little bit. And we're going to continue our sort of our fun week. Should be pretty good. Okay, so this is going to be straw. So we're working on this right now, dude. We're working on, basically, we're going to animate. I'll show this to you guys. I don't know if you've seen this yet. So I've been working on animating some stuff. So we did this starting soon screen right here, which is basically me and her animated, just playing around, getting used to like animating a whole scene rather than just like one static image, right? So animating different characters, animating movement, and things like that. So what I'm doing is my starting soon, my Be Right Back, and then my ending screen are all going to be animated. And I'm just kind of playing around with how to animate them, how to set up for animation so that I'm doing it right. You know, different things like that. Just kind of learning as I go. Hey, Rook. Yeah, you're all right, buddy. All right, so let's redo this cup because I really don't like the way this is done. And I learned something, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this entire group here, we're going to disable it, and we're going to give this bad boy a stroke. Yeah. We're going to turn the opacity up to 100. Yeah, man, just playing around, you know, just learning little by little, dude. It's, you know, it's one of those things, like, you just gotta put yourself out there and learn. How you been, Shady? You been doing well, man? Okay, that's better already. Now watch this. We'll square these off. To yeah, so if we look at my current Be Right Back screen, guys, you'll see what I mean. I basically have my art animating in a slideshow, right? Well, that slideshow is essentially where this new purple window is going to be. But next to it, you're going to have me, my daughter, and my cat sort of just playing around, like moving around and stuff. So we're just kind of redesigning it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And remove to pick up a... Don't know why Catbot didn't like that message, Shady, but... Oh, so you're getting... Now, the Pro, is that the big one with the, Is that the one you draw, like, you see on the screen you see in thing? Yeah, Catbot gets weird sometimes. Yeah, right on, dude. I'm still mouse and keyboarding it up, man. I've got my drawing tablets and they don't do anything. They just sit here and take up space. Gotcha. Okay. Right on, dude. Well, congrats, man. Good luck with that. Oh, I did something cool the other day. Hang on, I'll pull it up in a minute.
We got a host. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, we'll go like this. We'll go like this. I have to use my iPad. Gotcha, man. Right on, right on. So check this out, guys. I did this the other day. Hey, Monkey, thank you for the host, man. Appreciate that. I did this the other day. We were showing this last night. So I'm experimenting with merging digital, like regular digital pictures, and then merging like my art into those pictures, kind of playing around between merging those two worlds together. Yeah, I know, man. See, and that's where I'm lucky. Like, I've done IT my whole life, right? So sitting behind a desk is like par for the course for me. And it's really interesting because I've had people talk about, like, you know, I'll develop back problems and carpal tunnel and all this stuff. I haven't yet. You know, I'm an old man. But, you know, it's, I'm waiting for the day that everything starts to hurt real bad. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm kind of playing around with these concepts and ideas as well. Just trying to see what I can pull off here. Because I want to get into some more photo manipulation stuff. I don't want to do just straight, like, vector stuff all the time. Alright, let's go with this, and we're going to turn this down to, like, 60. 70, 80. Let's go 80. I like 80. 80's got a good look to it. And then we'll make this look like glass. So we'll take these. So this is interesting. If I do them like this might be a new way to do this. I just figured out the other day, actually. Let's go with like 40. And if we cut this and we put it inside of this, yeah, that works. That works perfect. See, everybody keeps telling me I'm going to get carpal tunnel one day, but to this point, I'm good, man. Like, I can't hear anything, but my eyes are perfect. Alright, I don't like these at 40. Let's go down to like 20. Much better. That way it sort of looks like glass. Now, let's experiment with the cubes. Let's pull the cubes out of this one. And let's pull them down into here. We'll put them right on top of this, and then we'll play around with the placement of them. So there's several things we could do. We could have them sort of come up out of the glass like that. Let's go with, what are these at? 30? Let's go with 100% opacity for right now, just so we can sort of see what's up. We'll go here. We'll go white. Now, let's work on placement a little bit. This one will kind of bob like this. You know, it's funny. I was talking earlier, Shady and Rook and everybody here. Like, it was funny. Like, I've been looking at going back and like redoing some of my old art, just playing around. And this is one of those things that I had made like a year and a half ago, right? And it's really fascinating to go back and really analyze some of your art and look at the ways that you did them and lessons learned, if you will. Because it's so funny, like with this picture, how many things I found that just boggle my mind. Like, why did I do it like this? You know, I could have done it this way, so much faster or efficient or whatever, you know? And really, really interesting, dude. Really interesting. Hey there, Six. How you doing? Thank you, Water Bottle. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, it's important, dude. Well, it's like this right here. Check this out, Rook. I don't know if you were here when we started, but this is what the cat looked like originally. Now, don't mind that his eyes are closed, right? His eyes are closed because we're going to actually animate the scene, so we're creating eyelids. But, like, if you look at this cat, you look at the shape of his body, this is like what traditional flat design would look like, right? And then if you look at, like, this one that I just did off the cuff, you can see how much more, I don't want to say realistic, but how much better the form looks of the character overall, right? And it's funny when you start looking at how you did things previously as opposed to now. You know what I mean? It's really fascinating. It's really, really fascinating. We're going to put this little guy over here. And we'll drop it right back in there. We're going to make him a little smaller. You know, it's funny, man. It's like the little things you just start noticing, oh, I could have done this better. I could have done this better. Things like that. Anyone want to watch my stream? Well, the best way to do that, Six, is to start streaming and go out and build an audience, build a group that do want to come in. You really shouldn't self-promote in somebody else's stream because it's not really a good way to earn viewers, right? Because no one knows what you stream or how you stream or the manners in which your streams operate. So typically, the best way to get viewers and to grow a stream is to start streaming and then figure out what you want to stream and how you want to stream. And then eventually, you'll develop an audience. You'll develop people that want to come hang out with you. You know what I mean? That's really the best way to do that, bud. Not going around and asking in other people's streams. That generally isn't the most appropriate way to handle it. But take that advice for what it is. And network. Yeah, thank you, Rook. Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? Because, I mean, that's what it's all about.
We got a host. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Rook. I appreciate that host, buddy. So, guys, real quick, there's a couple really cool people in here. Shady Monkey, I'm not sure if we got a shout out for Shady Monkey. If we didn't, can we? I don't remember. I apologize. Shady Monkey is an artist here on Mixer. Rook is starting to stream on Mixer as well. So if you guys want to check Rook out, he does art, he does video games and things like that. Seven was in here earlier. Who else is in here? A couple other people, but I don't want to just randomly shout people out. But yeah, guys, give Shady Monkey a follow. Great guy, super chill dude, does really good art. Rook, another great content creator. Definitely worth a follow here on the platform, guys. I would recommend checking both of those fellas out. You're welcome, dude. Of course. Alright, let's go on this cup. And sorry, I'm sort of like low-key doing things today. I'm not really in a rat race or anything. We're just kind of playing around and goofing off here. So I hope you guys don't mind. Yeah, Shady's great. Shady does really good stuff. He is, I think he was taking a little bit of a break from streaming, sort of like I did for a while there. But he's got really good stuff. He's definitely worth a follow. Definitely worth your time. Wait, how do I want to do... See, that doesn't work well because of that. That's fine. We'll move this one ice cube. Right, like this. Now, I want to do some small bubbles here in the glass. It is. I took like a good month off. I had to. Because I had too much going on, man, you know, and it was like, it was becoming very difficult to try and go live because I didn't have the energy for it because I was so busy with life and work, and it was just one of those I really needed to just recharge and figure out, you know, what I want to do. And I still don't know if I'm going to make any specific changes to my schedule yet or not. Like, I haven't fully decided what I want to do there, but I'm definitely going to, you know, get a new schedule sort of going. All right, so we'll do that for the glass. We'll do that for the straw. That works for me. I want to do one thing on the straw. Okay. I took a long time off until I found a new format. Right, Krager. That, you know, and that's the thing is you know, streaming is it's an awesome thing, and I recommend everybody give it a try to see if it's something you enjoy, right? But I think the big misconception for a lot of streamers is that they don't realize the amount of work that truly goes into streaming, right? You look at it, and while it looks like fun, and it is fun, and it looks like something you're just going to get out here and you're going to do, there's a lot behind it. Like the technology behind it, and keeping up with the curve, and learning how to do things, and learning how to network. I mean, it is a very involved process. You know what I mean? Thank you, Rook. I appreciate it, buddy. You have a good bite to eat there, man. I ate right before I went live, so I am solid. But yeah, it's a huge investment in time, not just money. You know, everybody they look at streaming and they think that like it's all about money and this, and it's not. I mean, I've seen people stream with almost nothing. You know, with like very limited equipment and stuff. It's really about putting the time in and figuring out what you want to do. And that's why too, it's a lot of it is education at the same time, which is why when that person's self-promoted, you know, I don't really see a reason to be negative when someone self-promotes. Because honestly, you got to look at, maybe they don't realize the ins and outs of it, right? Like, maybe they just don't. So it's always better to sort of just try to help educate people, I think, in my personal perspective. Ben, what is up, buddy? How are you, sir? Good to see you, man. What are you up to, bud? Besides playing games. I've seen you over there on Steam. Alright, cool. So we got everything named. So let's go back to the cup, and we're going to name this... The only things we're going to name in the cup, we're going to name this Ice 1, Ice 2... All great. Well, good to hear that, buddy. Yeah. Glad to hear it, man. We're just kind of keeping a low-key stream today, man. Just chilling out. Working on some little art stuff here, and we're gonna make my new Be Right Back screen, and we're gonna animate it. We're gonna have like me, Darcy, and the cat just sort of, you know, some little movements like the mouse moving back and forth, and the fingers clicking, and have her little legs kicking. You know, we're gonna animate the little Be Right Back screen, and then update that and just play around with it. Something fun to do. No real reason other than that. And kind of updating the art at the same time. Updating the assets, rather. I think we'll just keep this one mouth here. And at some point here, I'll have to find my phone. I will have to go pick up my daughter in a while. But not anytime soon. Probably within an hour, I'd say. I don't know. I have to find my phone. I probably have a text message. I just haven't checked it. Alright, cool. So we've got this. We've got all the assets done. I think we might be ready to animate this. The only thing we need to do is fix this font and figure out what the heck I want it to say. So we've got the frame and the shade. So we're going to name this slideshow window. Right? We need to create this asset, which is going to go to the back. And we're just going to call this BG. basically just getting prepared for animation. So this is going to be BG for background. The cat, we're going to go right here with the chair level. Yeah, we'll go right here. Awesome. We will... Alright, so we've got this for animation, this for animation, and now we need to figure this out. Hi, JerHenning. Your channel is currently being featured on the Live homepage. Oh, very cool. Hello, homepage. How you doing? Alright, so let's... What should we do with this font, guys? Should we do something cute? Or what should we... How should we do this, do you guys think? Because I'm not 100% sure how I want to do it yet. Let's move this off. Yeah, right, water bottle? Cool, huh? Let's go with... Let's do a new font and see what we get. We're going to do the artistic. Well, like a handwriting? That's what I'm thinking. Something different, right? Let's scroll through some fonts and see what we got. Let's play with, like... I don't know how I want to do the font, but I want it to look different. Now, here's the other flip side to this. Right? We could, theoretically, animate the font completely in Moho. So it could be completely animated font if we wanted to. Or we draw the animations or the fonts here, and then we animate them once we get into Moho. I think what we'll do is play around with a couple of these fonts. How's it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I want to do this. There's like so many options. You got to kind of figure out what you want it to. You know, and of course, when you make this yourself, let's see what this looks like, all lowercase. If we were to stack this against this, and then we'll go. What I would do is naturally, I would take this one down to probably, I don't know, let's say 110. And then for these, I'd probably go 140. Actually, we'll do 160. We'll go 160. Awesome. And then what we'll do is we'll just kind of play around with the placement of this and stuff. See what we can do with it. We could do a play on the words if we had anything that lined up, but we don't really. I don't know. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you exactly what we'll do. We don't even worry about the font for right now. Here's how we're going to do this. Check it out. We will take in the art and we'll do the font in its own. We'll do the font in its own little thing. So we're going to go to the clipboard. We're going to export this as a PSD file. So we want to keep it as a Final Cut manipulate. Yeah, we'll go like this. So now we'll go in here, animation, Moho. And we're going to call this be right back, and then it'll be PSD. All right, now we're going to go into Moho. We're going to open the project file, which is going to be right here. Now we're going to import this. And this is where the animations start to come into play, right? Because it will be... Wait, shouldn't that import automatically? Right here, individually. Alright, so this is where you're going to start seeing it. Now you're going to see why the names were so important. Because if we come over here, I want to show you something. We let all this import, alright? And it's going to import directly from that PSD file, right? So there it is. There's what we just created. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that entire file and we're going to sort of move it into the window where we want it. Now, we're not worried about the bits that are hanging underneath of this. If you see this light blue line right there, that is the frame within where the animation will live, okay? So we can sort of just move this like this. Cool. Now, the reason I said that the text is not really a big concern right now is because we can come back and we can add in the text at any point. In fact, we can put the text on its own layer and we can animate that entirely by itself, which will be really cool. Okay, so now we have this. So if we go under Darcy front, right, you're going to see left leg, you're going to see right leg, right? You're going to see all the things that we named. So what that's done is it's essentially kept that all nice and clean for us. Not only is the art here, it's all managed well. The names are in there and things like that. So the very first thing is we're going to animate my daughter, and I think what we'll do is we're going to come in and we are going to animate her little legs. So what we'll do is we will make that a bone layer. So what that does by making it a bone layer is it essentially allows us to create bones over these different elements, right? So for the bones, we'll add a bone. We're going to add what's called a root bone. So that'll be right here. And then off of the root bone, we're going to do two child bones straight down like this. Because all we want is we want her little legs to just sort of kick back and forth. Just sort of like, you know, sort of like this. So now what we'll do, check this out. We need to take all these bones and we need to take away their strength. Because the way these bones work is they have a manipulation window that controls the strength of what they'll manipulate. We want to turn that down, and we essentially want to bind the images to the specific bones. So what we'll do is we'll go here, we'll bind this group to this bone. Then we'll go to this one and we'll grind it to this bone. Now watch this. If we go back to the bone layer and we grab this, you see that? Now that leg is on a pivot, right? And then this leg is on a pivot. So we can have her little leg just sort of kick back and forth, you know, like a kid does. They sort of sit there and just kick their legs, you know? Now, that's just one example. We can do that for her basically anything. So her front is, we'll call it rigged. It's done. Now we can kick those legs back and forth at will. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Darcy here, and we're going to take both mouths, and we're going to group them, and then we're going to make them a switch. Now, there's a reason. We can essentially change the mouth at any time, and you see how it changes that mouth on screen? It's a really cool little feature that allows us to essentially change the mouth just by switching it. And switch layers are good for like eyes, mouths, hand shapes, different things like that, where you can switch between basically anything you want. You can use switch layers to do a lot of cool stuff. Rowdy Soul, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Alright, so we're going to call this mouth. Cool. Dale Gamer, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. We're working on some art and animations here, in case anyone is curious. Alright. And if you guys look over there, you'll see a little slideshow that kind of shows some of the things that I normally make. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Alright, so we're going to... Now we need to turn the eyes into... We're going to turn the eyelids off by default, right? They're off. Eyelids off. Okay. So there's the eyelids. They're going to be off. So we're going to turn the eyelids on and off as we choose, right? Hey, thank you for the follow. Thanks for the lemons. Ambiverted. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for the lemon.
Oh, of course, Fail. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the lemon, Rowdy. We do a very sort of teachy stream here, so I encourage viewers to ask questions. If you guys are curious about like the softwares that I'm using, or if you're curious about the techniques that I'm using, feel free to ask. And I do my best to try to explain it. That can help everybody sort of learn it and help everybody sort of, you know, create their own sort of art. So if you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Thank you for the ice cream, Rowdy. Alright, let's... So her eyes are now open. So we'll control the eyelids at will. We'll turn them on and off as we want. Now the pupils. Ooh.
Ice cream.
How crazy do we want to get with the animations of the eyes? That's going to be the key, because if we do like this little guy, here where we animated the eye on a controller, we could have the pupil completely controlled in a 3D space. I don't know if we're going to get that advanced or we're just going to hand control it. I haven't decided yet. I'm not really sure how I want to do that yet. let's go back. We'll work on it little by little, and then we'll kind of decide. All right, so for her little, her mouth is on a switch. Good. The pupils are there. The eyebrows are there. Left eye, right eye, hand. We could have her hair on a bone, and we could have her hair sort of sway a little bit. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Offside basket, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's go. So for anyone who's curious, we just made the art here in Affinity Designer. Not much, bud. We're just making some art, making some animations, having some fun. Lana, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate all the support. We just got done making the art right here. And so for anyone who's curious, we'll go ahead and click it on real quick. So this is my starting soon screen. This is what it looks like, right? What I've been doing is animating my going live screens, my be right back screens, things like that. And so you can see the art style and the animations that we have going right there. And what we're doing is we're currently in the process of animating my be right back screen, which is currently looks like this, which is just a slideshow of my art. But what we're going to do is we're going to have the slideshow stay in the window, but we're going to animate the characters that are in that window with the art. So it's essentially going to be these little characters. We're going to have the mouse move. We're going to have the fingers sort of click. We're going to have, like, you know, just some little animation thing going on here. And then we're going to animate the Be Right Back font up here. So we'll have it doing something. We'll have it sort of like moving around, or I'm not really sure yet. But we're just going to work on this little by little until we get to where we're happy with it. Currently, we have my daughter's legs where they're on a bone. So we're going to have her little legs sort of swiveling as she sits on the desk right here, you see? And now what we're going to do is we're going to animate her face and her mouth and things like that, and her blinking. We'll get there. It takes time. Definitely takes time. Thank you, Rowdy. So, vector art I've been doing now for about 2.5 years, Fail. And my animations I've been doing on and off for a couple years. I'm just now really getting to the point where I'm really beginning to dig deep into animations, though, rather than just, you know, not doing them. So I'm definitely getting more into it now. Okay, we're going to close that one real quick. Let's open this guy up. You have a page for commission. So if you want to, let me see, where is the, you can email me here, Rowdy. I don't have the command set up on, DLive yet for the email, but you can email me right there. If you have any questions or you want to talk about different things like pricing and stuff, for sure, you can reach me there. All right, give me a second. We're going to go back over here real quick. Okay, we're going to, I need to double check. All right, let's get, so we've got that done. Sorry, we just started animating this. So this is kind of the boring part, folks, where we're kind of figuring out what we want to do and playing around with it. I didn't really sketch this out. I didn't really plan this animation whatsoever. So it's sort of just off the cuff. So let's start with the leg. We'll have her, you know how little kids are constantly moving their legs and constantly moving around. Hey, Drunk Spartan, how you doing? Well, let's start with that. So we're going to go out to, absolutely, you're welcome. We will go out here. We're going to set both of these bones in place. So we're basically going to freeze these bones. So we'll go here and we'll freeze. And for anyone who's not familiar with what freeze means, it's basically in this sort of animation, you're locking all the points down, the rotation, the size, the scaling, you're locking them in one place. So this allows you to go ahead and animate. So what we'll do is we'll go out to 24 frames, and then we'll just take this little leg here and we'll just sort of kick it like this, right? And then we'll come a couple frames ahead and we'll kick this one out here like this. All right? So then what we'll do is we'll come out another one and we'll just sort of swing it back like this.
We got a new follower.
Right? And then we'll do the same thing here. So what we're going to do is for right now, we're going to set this animation to 72 frames. And then we're going to have this cycle. And we'll have it cycle from beginning to end. Haunted Loner, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that very much. And then what we'll do is we'll take these back and we'll go out to 72 frames, right? So let's see what this looks like if we loop it. Alright, a little too animatronic for me. So now we start playing with it. So we're going to take this leg here and sort of move it like this. And then we're just going to sort of move it in like this. And then we'll speed all this up. So we'll take this entire thing. We'll hold the Alt key, which is going to shrink the entire timeline at once. And we'll kind of speed it up over, let's say around 1.5 seconds. Alright, so we've got the one leg moving plenty. And then it sort of sits still there to that point. So we want to come here and sort of, yep, and then we're going to cycle this. So watch this. Now we're going to go to cycle. All right, now let's watch. You see how her little legs are kicking on the edge of the desk there? So what we've just done is we've animated this little motion scene where essentially her legs are moving, and then we've cycled that. So what'll happen is, regardless of how long we make this animation, even if we go to an hour, right, we can have that one bit right there cycle. So it'll be like her little legs are just sort of flopping there on the edge of the desk. It'll look really cool when it's all said and done. And in fact, if we export this real quick, if we export this animation out to the desktop real fast, you'll see exactly what that'll look like. It'll only take a second to export. And real quick, if anyone does have any specific questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, we welcome questions here. If you guys want to know like the styles of arts or the types of softwares I'm using or whatever, feel free to ask. Feel free to get involved. We welcome that here, so don't feel like you're, questions aren't valid. All right, so that'll work good. All right, yep, that's good. All right, cool. So let's take this entire thing, go back. Let's put this back where it's supposed to be. And then we'll get this done. Alright, so let's play it. And there we go. See? So we got her little legs just sort of kicking about there. Alright, now, I think what we'll do is we'll have her hair wave a little bit as well. So we'll go back here. We'll go to the hair. And we will go to the back of her hair like this. Now we're going to set a pivot point, and we're going to set the origin right up here at the top, right like that. So what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to put a bone in there, which will allow it to create a pivotable bone so that the hair will sort of rock back and forth, sort of like the legs do. We can kind of play with that. And then we can put some small facial features in and have her whole head sort of move. And I think that's what we'll do. So let's grab the neck. Good question. So you'll notice real quickly here, Fail. I don't use any Adobe products anymore. I've gotten rid of Adobe completely. It works very similar to Animate, and it is one of those programs that if you've done animation in general, right? Like if you've done animation or After Effects or hand-drawn animation or whatever, it's very similar in the way that it works. It has the same sort of timelines and things like that. Some of the features are a little different. It has some cool features that Animate doesn't have, but if you're used to animating with Animate, this will be a walk in the park for you. Like, this is something that I feel like you would be able to do relatively easily. And I like it. I also like that it's much more affordable. You can buy the debut version of Moho for like $40 and you own it outright. You don't pay per month. You don't have any maintenance fees. You don't have you own it. And I think that's pretty cool. And it's not that Adobe doesn't make good software. I just personally don't want to buy into the Adobe Pay model anymore, which is why I use Affinity Designer. I use Affinity Photo. I've sort of shifted away from using Adobe products in general, just because I'm not a big fan of the way they're doing their business models. And I don't think for smaller freelance artists, it's really, if you want a wide range of products, it gets really expensive. And yeah, that's basically why. But I wouldn't really say one's better than the other, right? Yeah, it is. It's gotten really expensive, which is why I've canned it. I don't use Adobe anymore at all because I just feel that it's getting too expensive to maintain anymore. You know. All right, so let's take. Let's animate my little hand. Let's get that going. Share, we'll go to mouse. Okay, so here's how we're going to animate this mouse. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put it on a bone slider. We're going to put the whole thing on a bone slider. So we will go here, we'll turn it into a bone layer. It is now a bone layer. We will draw a bone here, which will be the root bone. And this is basically going to allow us to slide this around on the screen. All right? So we'll go here, we'll take away the bone strength. Now we're going to come down here, we're going to take all this and we're going to bind it to this bone. And what that essentially is going to do you see this? See how we can sort of move the mouse back and forth like this? Which is going to sort of help us simulate that hand motion. Now the fingers we'll put in their own little separate entities on their own bones, and we'll let the fingers move up and down to sort of simulate clicking. Right? So there we go. So for the, let's say, finger 1, we will have on its own bone. So we will go back here. We'll unselect this bone because we don't want this bone to be parented. Well, no, we do want it to be parented to that bone, don't we? Yes, we do. So this will be the bone for this finger. We'll go back and select this bone, and this will be the bone for this finger. Okay, now, watch this. Again, we want to turn the bone strength down on these two, because the bone strength will influence the entire image, which you don't want to do unless that's what your goal is. I like a little more precise control over my bones. So we'll tie this to this bone, and we will tie this to this bone. So then we will, let's experiment with this. Right now, you see how that works, right? But then look at this. See, then that gives us a little more control over this. And then what I want to do is, we'll actually make the bone so that it can go up and down. So we're actually going to go in on the bone layer here. We're going to delete these. And what we'll do is we'll make the bones sort of on a slider that can sort of make them look as though they're click, 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 click like this. We'll do that instead. So we'll go here. We'll select this bone. Ray, please. Not sure what that says, Marg. Alright, so we'll go here. We don't want this parented to this. No. So we want to draw the bone here, which is going to be this root bone for this finger. And then what we'll do is we'll have this on a slider that'll sort of go up and down. Now, will that work is the question that I'm not sure of. So let's take this out. We will go here, and we will bind this to this bone. The question of the day is, how is this gonna work?
Thank you for the ice cream.
That's not gonna work the way I want it to. We'll get rid of these bones. We'll figure that out.
Thank you for the diamond.
Tony, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the lemon, the ice cream, and the diamond, my man. How are you? Alright, yeah, that definitely looks good. I just gotta get that clicking going. Phil Gamer, thank you for the sub over there on D-Live. I appreciate that. Wow, guys, thank you so much. How you doing today, Tony? Thanks for that support, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So, we want this. How do I want to do this? I actually think I know what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. All right, let's go like this. We're going to come out to 1 second where my daughter's legs are going to be kicking. We're animating my be right back screen, Tony. We're going to animate me and my daughter and my mouse, or my cat sitting over here goofing off, drawing and stuff. Yeah, no kidding, dude, right? Thanks, man. Appreciate that, bud. All right, let's go here. We're gonna freeze this in place. Then we're gonna go out to 1 second, and we're gonna move it over. And then we're gonna come out maybe half a second, move it back over. And we're just gonna sort of create a little we're going to create a little bit of hand motion, and watch this. We're going to cycle this, sort of like we were just talking about. All right, so we'll go out to 96 frames. All right, now watch this. We will cycle, we'll grab this, we'll go here, and then we'll cycle this all the way back. So watch what happens here. Cycle. Now, what this should do is we should, when we play this, my hand should sort of move around at different intervals. Yeah, you see? And it almost looks fluid, right? Like it's sort of like moving around on the deck there, right? Which is what we want. So far we have my daughter's legs doing their little thing, sort of kicking, you know, because she's a kid. And we're going to animate the rest of her. And then we got my hand doing this, just sort of like rolling and bouncing up and down. I've learned more in the last 15 minutes than I have in hours of YouTube videos. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Phil. So the thing is like I said, and I mean it for anybody out there watching, is we really try to help people learn here. So again, if you have questions like software, techniques, styles, anything like that, if I can help you, I'm glad to. I'd sort of like to help people learn if we can. I'd like to try and inspire people and get people to sort of get into this themselves if they want to. You know, I think it's an important thing to be able to inspire people and help motivate people to get started on their own. You know, and I'm 100% self-taught. So I always tell people, if I can do this, then anybody can do this. And that is the truth.
We got a new...
Hey, sweet. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. You always wanted to get an animation. Right on, right on. You know, the thing I would recommend with animations is if you're into making art, right? Art and animation are two different beasts. You need to wrap your head around animation in a different way, because it's more of a mechanical thought process than art is. Art, you just have fun and you create. Animation is more like, how do I make this look real? Or how do I make this look alive, in a sense? So you sort of have to play around with, you know, like item placements and different things like that. But if you have any specific questions there, sweet, let me know. Like, I have a couple free softwares that I use, and they work pretty well. Let's see if we can't make this look like a click. Let's see if we can't make this look like a click. We'll see what we can do. Hey, Mario, thank you for that follow over there. I appreciate that very, very much. All the support today, guys. It's been fantastic. Thank you. Now, let's see if this looks like a click, because if this does, then we will cycle this click. And then we'll also cycle the right click. So we'll go here like this. Let's see if this is too fast to look like a click, or if it actually works. Okay, I see the problem there. So what we need to do is we didn't freeze it good enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right before it and right before it. Now watch this. Okay. Good, good. Me Mario. Alright, good. So we'll do this like this. Now we'll go over here. And same concept, we will do the right trigger. So we're going to copy this. We're going to paste it right here. We'll go very next frame. We'll move it straight up. And then we'll skip 2 frames and we'll move it straight down. Right? And then we'll just copy these frames and we'll just move out here with them. Right? Now watch this. Yeah, see? So right there, you're already starting to see the beginnings of it moving. You know, we got the mouse moving across the table. We've got the fingers doing their thing. Now, granted, you got to understand too here, guys. This is not the only way to animate. This is called tweening, or tween-based style of animation. This software also does frame by frame. So if you're into like traditional animation where you want to do frame by frame, like a Disney style of animation, the software will also do that. It supports those kinds of timelines. There's different ways to go about this. Like, you don't have to do just this style. This is just the technique that I prefer because of the style of art that I make. It caters to the way that I draw this style of animation. Envy Storm, thank you for that follow. Appreciate that very, very much. What are you doing, Odin? What are you doing, buddy? Odin's coming in to say hi to everybody. What are you doing? It's my puppy. What are you doing, Bubba? Don't knock the green screen over, okay? Don't knock green screen over. I'll get you some treats in a little bit, okay? Love you, buddy. Alright. Let's get this going. Envy, thank you for the ice cream. Thank you for the lemons. I appreciate that. Alright, so we've got mine animating. let's work on my
Thank you for the
face.
lemon. Thank you for the lemon.
We'll turn off the eyelids, and we will make them visible only as we need them.
Thank you for the lemon.
But I want to show you guys something really cool. Thank you. Yeah, Daylight, that was my puppy Odin. So watch this. I want to show you guys something really cool for those of you who might be new to Moho. This was an experiment that I did right here. And if you're curious, what's really cool about this experiment right here is if you see these bones that are moving on the right side here, that art that you see moving is actually 2D flat art. There's nothing 3D about it. But if you rig it the right way with the bone controllers like I did here, you can make what are one set of images. That's one set of art images, right? And what I did was I drew it in a way that it could be animated to look almost three-dimensional. So it kind of shows you how you can do this. And you can see that each one of these bones are tied to a different image, which allows you to control the squash, the stretch, the placement of items on the head to give it an almost three-dimensional feel. And it turns out really, really cool. Super clean. And I'm going to do some more with that. And then like also with this little guy, if we look at him, same concept. You can see over here the bones and the controller that are moving that are causing this eye to look almost realistic. And if you look here on the controller is what's controlling the actual placement of the pupil. So you can see the pupil moving in an almost three-dimensional sphere, right? Because it's being controlled by this right here with the way that the controllers and the bones are bound to the imagery. So you can do some really cool stuff with this software. And again, this is one set of images. I didn't draw that frame by frame by frame. That's actually one static set of pictures that's been animated to look like that. Like it's almost like this little blob thing, you know? You can do some really cool stuff here though. And I'm still learning. I still consider myself to be very, very new at animation. It's just something that I'm sort of digging into and playing around with and learning as I go. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right. So there we go. We got this. Let's do, let's have my eyes moving around the screen. I think it would make sense that my pupils would be moving. So what we'll do is we're going to select both of these. We're going to go to frame 1 and we're going to freeze them. There we go. We've frozen them. So we'll go out to frame 24 and we'll have them just sort of move over a little bit. And we'll go out. And the way that I've learned to animate is I go ahead and make my keyframes and then I adjust my timing based off of those frames, right? So we'll take all these and we'll come out here at 96. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of spread these out a little more evenly, sort of like this. So now the pupils are sort of moving around the screen as well. And, if, you know, they can move a little differently than that. I mean, they don't have to be that animated or that robotic looking. It's all a matter of how you want to do it. And like I was just saying, like, it's sort of this game of how do you want it to look? How fast do you want things to move? We'll copy these, move them here. We'll follow this motion again. That way it doesn't look so robotic. And then we'll have them go over to this side of the screen. We'll have them center again. I'd say right about here. I hope this is fascinating to you guys. It's a little different, I know, but so you don't have to. I'm just sort of playing with it right now to see what I want to do. Right now they're a little too floaty, in my opinion. And I'm going to tell you why. Watch this. I want a little more of a fluid, quick motion. And this is probably going to be too quick. So I think we'll have to redo this. We'll skip 1. You know, and the thing here is again, I go back to the, you know, I'm completely self-taught. And the thing is over. And then I want it to go back static right here. Good. And then what we'll do is here. So a lot of what I do is just trial and error. That's way too quick. So we want that to rest longer. So what we'll do is we'll actually get rid of this. I know exactly how we'll do it. We'll come out right here. That way it period lasts longer. Don't worry about all this after this frame, because we are not worried about that right now. I'm trying to get how I want the motion to move. Okay, that's better. That's more of what I want. Still a little too quick, so I think we'll do an extra gap there, and we'll do an extra gap here. Now, what's cool, though... Yep, I like that. Now what we'll do is we'll sort of repeat this. So we'll copy and we'll paste it. So we'll go to the front. All right, good. And then we'll do one to the other side as well. So what we'll do is we'll go from this point here. We'll copy this. We'll go here. And then we'll come out to, just like we did. We'll go over here. And same concept. Go right there. All right, let's try it. Better. And again, you can see how quickly we started with an idea and we just sort of just kept working it out. And this is the thing is that like there's no right or wrongs here. It's all a matter of what you want it to look like, right? I mean, like how do you want it to look? Now, watch this. If we want to get blinking involved, let's say we want a blink right about, I'd say here. So what we'll do is we'll take these two and we'll turn it visible at this point right here. We'll let it go for, I don't know, maybe 3 frames, and then we'll turn it off. And so we're going to get a blink going. So we'll go here. We'll go to frame, what is this, 52. We'll get a nice blink. And then we'll go out 3 frames, which I believe is where we were. Yep. And we'll turn it off again. And let's see what this looks like with a nice blink, right? See? You could do a wink, yeah? You could absolutely do a wink. Now, the way we want to do this is we want this to sort of cycle, right? We got that little bit of a blink in there, right? What software is amazing? So the art was made here in Affinity Designer, which is right here. Here's the actual art assets, what we're using to animate, okay? And what I did was I exported this as a PSD file, and then I've thrown it into a software called Moho. And Moho allows you to create both tween-based and frame-by-frame based animations. You can do both. And so what we're essentially doing here is we're taking the assets we created in another program, and we're animating them in Moho. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, so we've got that doing its thing. We've got me sort of... Now, I want this elbow moving. So let's go to... How do we want to do this? So it's not under head. It's going to be that arm right there. We want to animate this arm. Hey, Seb. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing today? We will go here, here, and here. Now, watch this. Yeah, now here's the cool part though, MB. Let me show you something. You can create your vector art right within Moho. You can. I prefer the vector tools that are in Affinity Designer a little bit more. So what I do is I make the art here, and then I export it to a PSD, and then import the PSD into here. And what's cool is if you name everything right, and you get everything set up and staged, then once you import it into Moho, then everything's already ready to animate. You know what I mean? It's a very quick process from that point. So we could go over it again if you guys have questions. So it's able to use vector layers and shapes separately? Exactly. And what's cool is you can import group vector layers. So like if we go over here, this is my daughter in a group, right? Right here. She is a grouped vector group, but when you import that into Moho, it keeps that vector group for you automatically. And it keeps everything named exactly the way you did it in Affinity Designer. So you don't have to rename anything, you don't have to redo anything. It just sort of keeps everything static. Keeps everything right the way you had it, which is fantastic because it's, pretty good. I'm doing good, ASAP. We're just, we're working on some animations, working on some vector art, just kind of playing around, having a little bit of fun. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. It's, the thing is with animation, is if it's something you really want to get into, just start slow and you know, and just take it step by step. That's what I've done. That's the best advice I can give. I am 100% self-taught. I've had zero training on any of this. It's just something that I've sort of dove into, and I'm just learning as I go, you know? Hey, Arda. How you doing? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So let's cycle this. Yep, and we're going to go out to 144 frames for right now. You're going to see a little bit of a hitch. Actually, we'll go out to, let's go out to 192. We'll make it 192 frames long, and then we'll go back to the front. All right, and now we should see my little elbow. Yeah, see, then you've got my elbow sort of moving there. Now, the only thing I don't like about that is I feel like it's a little too floaty. So what we'll do is we'll copy this one, and we'll just sort of put it about 3 frames in front. So it'll kind of sit, move, and then sit and move. How long have I been animating? I've been physically animating for about, I'd say probably 5 months now, Envy. Sort of just been digging into it, learning step by step, and just finding things to animate for no reason. So I made this little thing here. We'll flip over to it. This is my starting soon animation. You'll see right here. Basically, this is kind of what started it all. I wanted to make something that would be unique into my stream, which is my style of art and animation and stuff like that. And so I animated this with this software you're looking at right now. And this was my first attempt at animating a full scene instead of just like a small static image. So I'm learning as I go, and I'm just trying out different things. I'm trying out like different styles, different ways to move things, different techniques, just trying to figure out what's going to work best for me, right? And so far, so good. So far, it's been working really well. And we're just kind of, you know, learning little by little. Yeah. Let's go here. So we'll copy this guy over, and we'll go here, and then we'll copy this, and we'll go right here. Perfect. And we'll let that cycle. And that should look really cool, actually, with the elbow. Yeah, see that elbow now? So now it looks like this arm's over here moving, because you know how your arm moves, you know. So here's the biggest thing, right? This is my advice to anyone that wants to get into animating like this, okay? Sweet, and anybody else. Start small. I think the very first thing I ever animated with this, let's go see if we can figure it out. It was right here. Oh, there's something else the software does. I can kind of blow your mind a little bit if you really want to see it. You see this gray box here? That is your frame. Okay, that's where your animations take place inside that window. Well, this program supports something called Z-Depth, which allows you to put images. I hope y'all can see this. It allows you to stack images on a XYZ depth, so you can give images 3D dimension. So you can actually do like parallaxing, and you can do like 3D movement in and through images and stuff with the software. So think almost like in like high-end animations where you would see a scene like pan through the trees and that kind of stuff. And I'll give you an example of that. If we play this animation, you're going to see the animation draw forward like this, right? And you're going to see the trees come into perspective. So you can do like Z-Depth with stuff. And if you look outside of this box, these trees are all cut off and stuff right here, right? Like they're not completed, but they don't have to be. They don't have to be completed because you don't see them. You're only seeing what's in that frame right there, right? So it allows you to do like really complex movement through scenes and like things like that. Pretty cool stuff. Drop Dead, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the diamond, bud. Yeah, it's all a matter of learning. But I think that was like the first thing I ever actually sat down, and it took me like a week to get that animated. I could do that now in probably an hour. But again, that's all the recourse of learning and trying to figure out what you're doing, right? And then like some of the other stuff that I've done is, let's see. We did... Where's that one scene I did? Oh, I did this one. Check this out. So this was a little, hold on, we'll get rid of this. This was me just playing around with panning and switching scenes. I'll show you exactly how we did that. And I actually uploaded this one to YouTube. So again, you see this gray box here. That's the export view. So watch this. You know, I was playing with like a title dropping in, and you can see the assets waiting outside of the stage, right? They're just sitting there outside the stage, okay? And then you're gonna see the scene change right here in a second as he jumps in the water. Boom. All right. And then what it does is you don't see it, but he's actually panning down that scene right there. So you're basically seeing behind the scenes, and you're seeing the fish swim behind and the fish swim in front of, and you're seeing how this kind of stuff is done. And this is really the same logic you would use for like creating video games and stuff. You have what is your render window, and everything outside of that render window exists. You don't see it until it's called into action, right? And then once it's called into action, then you see the movement. And so we got these tentacles that are sort of sitting here, or these seaweed that are sort of blowing in the water. And you can see the scene stops right there. So you don't need to finish the sand and everything. Yeah, box's camera view. Exactly, Dropzed. Yep. And it allows you to do some really interesting, fun stuff where you can kind of create, you know, you could literally sit here if you wanted to. You could make your own episode of, you know, Teen Titans Go or something if you wanted to. Like, it is literally that powerful. You could make a full-on animation if you really wanted to spend the time. Because you can do cut scenes and you can move between scenes and things like that. It's all really a matter of how much time do you want to put into it. And then, of course, this is the one I did where I was showing people. We took 2D vector art and we made, that is one flat set of art. That's not actually 3D, but with the way the bones move and the way they control the images, it makes it look three-dimensional. So it works out really well. Yeah. Thank you, Fire Crown. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I didn't know much about animation. It was really cool. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, that's sort of the goal with my channel, is I like to help people learn, whether it be art or whatever, because I found one of the biggest processes with trying to figure out how to start this stuff is how do I start it, right? Like, you don't see many people sit out there and talk about this is step one, right? And a lot of times when you watch a tutorial or something, they're talking about concepts that are already way above your head, and you're like, where do I even begin? You know what I mean? And that's one of those things you want to sort of see, how do I build upon this? How do I get better at this? And that's really what it's about. Thank you for the follow, Wolfing and Drop. Skate, what software is this? This is actually called Moho right here. This is a software called Moho. And it is a vector-based animation, tweening animation, and you can actually do frame by frame in here as well. For anyone that's familiar with anyone who's familiar with like frame by frame Disney style animation, you can do that right in here. Yeah, absolutely. Well, anytime that I stream, always open to questions. So if anyone is curious about something, so like I use some free stuff like this. Check this out. This is a free 2D based animation software. So let's say, I'll show you guys real quick how we could do a bouncy ball. Now this is going to be a super fast bouncy ball, but check this out. If you wanted to get into frame by frame animations, you could literally use this software. This software is completely free, and you can see those red balls are basically the onion skinning, right? And this would be a great way to sort of get into it. Now watch this. We set this to loop, and right there, we just animated that. Just like that, right? And this software right here is completely free. Now, the thing with this software is you're doing frame by frame hand-drawn animation, but that's okay. It's a great place to learn how to animate and how to get started with animation. And you can do layers in this, you can do painting in this, you can do, everything you would do with regular animation right here in the software, completely free. So Moho, this software right here, the debut version, which is like the miniature version, I want to say it's like $49. And yeah, that free one right there, I'll type it in over here. It's called Pencil 2D, is what that one is called. It is a great piece of software. It's completely free, and you can learn on that software. Now, Moho itself, the debut version is let's see, $40 or $49. Now the pro version is like, I want to say the pro version is like $300 or something, but I'll be honest with you, most people don't need the pro version. It has some features in there that aren't really required. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely, Skate. Of course. You're welcome. Thank you for the follow. I gotta lurk for a bit. I'll be back. Okay, water bottle. I may or may not be, depending on what time I gotta get my kid. But yeah. Let's go back here. And I hope you guys don't mind the lengthy talk, because that's sort of becomes a thing around here. You know what I mean? I do use Aseprite. Oh, I do. Yeah, I work the heck out of some Aseprite. Hang on, I'll show you here. I do all kinds of Aseprite animations. We actually have some we've done for chat. So like, my DLive notifications were done in Aseprite. But let's do like, let's go up. Right here. So check these out. Like any of these. Like we do all kinds of little fun animations. Aseprite is a great piece of software if you want to get into pixel art. It allows you to do frame by frame pixel art animation. So sort of like this one I did here, right? You can see you can basically do the same technique that I'm doing now, and you can do it with pixel art. It's a great piece of software, very affordable, and really, really easy to use once you get a hang of it. And I've done all kinds of little things in Aseprite. Like we did this one for a birthday thing, where basically this, he's sitting here and the cake explodes onto the screen, so you can see like the little explosion as it burst into the screen, and then the cat like flies off the screen. So I mean, but this is a great piece of software too. And so my animation background again has been completely self-taught, and it's been basically learn as I go. You know what I mean? And it's been basically just teach myself. That's literally what I've done. And I have no formal training in any of this. So if that gives you guys hope, it should. All right, so we've got this arm moving, we got the mouse moving, we got the hand moving. Perfect. We're not going to move the laptop at all. And again, these legs and where these shapes are cut off, we don't care about because they're outside of the render view. You're not going to see those, so it really doesn't matter. Of course, thank you, Skate. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's pick what we want to animate next. Let's work on my head. I think I want my head to bob just a little bit. We're not going to do too much head bobbing, or I don't really want to call it bobbing, but almost like a slight turn. You know what I mean? So what we'll do is we'll go to my head here, and we're going to reset the pivot point right here. So now we're going to turn this into a bone. Yep, we're going to turn this into a bone layer. Now, with that being a bone layer, we're going to add a root bone, which will be here. And then we're going to add a movement bone, which will be here. Actually, we're going to make that root bone a little bit longer so it controls the whole head. All right, now, again, just like we did before, we're going to turn off the bone strength. We're going to grab the head and we are going to bind it. We're going to bind the entire head to this bone. All right, now, the reason we're going to do that is, again, if we go back, see how we can sort of pivot the head like this? And so, now, here's the thing with this, right? Like, you can get much more advanced than this. You don't have to go this simple. I mean, you can literally get to the point where you're controlling each pupil and the ear movements, and you can make the head look like it's rotating. I mean, there's a lot of, like, different things you can do. So, they will a little bit. But watch this. I'll show you exactly how it will affect it. I'll show you exactly how it will affect it. So we'll lock it here. We'll go to frame 1. We'll lock this bad, we'll freeze it. All right, we're going to go out to like, let's say frame, I don't know, 34. And we'll lock it down. Now, I also do art, guys. So like if you look over here, like you can see my slideshow running, right? Like I do all kinds of art stuff. We drew this last night on stream. I'll go ahead and pull it up. We did this weird little dude last night. I drew this head in 5 minutes. So then we did a challenge where we took this head and we wanted to make it into a character. So we drew this little character on stream last night, just playing around with like some sort of I don't even know what this thing is, some sort of Frankenstein little character. But we do vector art and things like that. And I've also been getting into like mixed media art where I'm taking like real digital pictures and I'm blending them in with my characters or my style of art. And I'm basically kind of playing around with how can we bleed these two together and make some really unique pictures like this. Because I've got some really cool ideas with this, like what I can do with this, but sort of getting there. All right, so let's go here. We'll go out here. copy, paste, and we'll kind of see what this head movement looks like to see if we like it. I don't know if I'm going to like it, to be honest with you. We're going to try this. If we don't like it, there's no harm, no foul. We can just undo it, right? Hey, Legend, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. We're working on some vector art. We're working on some animations and stuff. Okay, that's a little too floaty. I don't like how floaty that is. Because it's floating between there. Another animator. Hey, yeah. So, we were actually just talking about that. Like, a lot of my stuff is all self-taught. And I just have fun with it. But I encourage people to ask questions if they have any. I think what we'll do is we'll do a slight turn this way, and then we'll sort of, I'll see what that looks like. A little too rapid for me. Bang, and then over. I think what we'll do is we'll space that out. Kind of go here. I don't. No, I actually work in IT for a living. I do freelance graphic design and things like that. But I work as a LAN engineer by day. And this is just passion. Passion, you know, a little fun sort of thing. I hope to one day make it a full-time, you know, deal. This is going to look really cool. It's going to be a fun Be Right Back screen. I'm looking forward to this. This has been something I've really been wanting to really play with and sort of get into, was playing this. So you see what it did with the eye movements? It didn't really affect them too much, Fail. Because again, we did subtle head movements. I didn't do anything crazy. I don't want this to be like some sort of a Naruto, like, you know, animation scene or anything. We're just doing simple, small movements. Just enough to give it some life, but not make it over-animated. That's the one thing. I don't want to over-animate this, you know? That's cool, too. Oh, you work as a motion? So check this out, Legend. I've been actually doing motion graphics in here. This program actually can do motion graphics. Well, what I would call motion graphics. Because I've never actually done motion graphics, but... So check this out. I did this the other day. Now, you're only seeing what's in the scene rendered, but I took this camera and I experimented with making motion graphics, right? So you can sort of see the whole process. Because I wanted to see if this software was capable of doing motion graphics. And I think it is, because I threw this together at lunchtime. And I was like, you know what? If I can do this with it, then I think I could definitely do full-scale motion graphics. Similar to what you would do with like After Effects or something. And so it's something that I'm sort of just playing with, because there isn't a whole lot of information out there how to do it, give it a motion graphic look. But I think it's possible if you do it just right. So yeah, it definitely, it's coming along. I mean, I just do a little bit every day. Every day I try to animate something different. I try to create something different. I try to make something different. And I just play around with, you know. So I'm assuming that a lot of what I'm doing here, Legend, is probably very similar to After Effects, right? Like the way the movements and everything work. It's probably right up that same alley. In the first place, because I need to make some motion graphics for intros to videos. Right, exactly, sweet. So that's actually what got me started in it, was I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do this stuff. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you guys are interested in seeing this stuff, as well as tutorials and stuff, I do have a YouTube. You can get the link for that. I have, like, video editing softwares on there, like different tutorials on video editing, different things like that. Different, like this kind of stuff, how to make vector art, all kinds of stuff. Yep, all right, cool. I have not used Adobe in a couple years now. I use Affinity products, as you can see right here. I use Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Affinity Publisher, and I use Moho, and I use some other softwares as well. All right, I want the ice to sort of bob up and down in that cup. So is this the way most animators work, Legend? They just kind of bounce around the scene and animate little by little until it starts to come to life? Is that the general idea of it? Because that's the way I'm sort of learning it. Is it sort of like, okay, this is animated, now let's animate this. Or this is animated, now let's animate this. It's kind of the way that I've been learning to do it. And it's working great for me so far. Yeah, there's some pretty good stuff on there. You know, I tell people if you want a more concise version of this. That's right, you're on. Very good. Okay. You know, and the thing is, it's like I always tell people, and this is just so true. Is like people always ask me, they're like, how do you, you know, how are you doing this? What are you doing? So forth and so on. And it's always like, you know what? If you want to do this, you just gotta start learning. You know, I'm 100% self-taught, and if I can do this, I'm sure that other people can as well. You know, just have that motivation to go out there and start learning whatever it is, whether it's art, whether it's animation, whether it's music. Just pick it up every day and say, okay, like this, for example, this little weird dude we drew yesterday. I drew the face in 5 minutes, and I was like, you know what? I want to animate that face. So that's what we did. We animated it. Or, I mean, we drew the best of the body, you know? Okay, cool. So we're going to go there with it. Now, I want to add a little more animation to my daughter, and I want to animate my cat. So let's work on my daughter first. And we have her mouth. So this is pretty cool here for anyone who's just getting here. Moho supports switch layers, which I think most animation software do. But you can actually switch between items like this at will, right? So, like, to give you an example of that, is like we could have her regular mouth, and then at this point, we could have it switch over to this mouth. And you could have as many as you want in here, and then we could have it sort of switch back here at this mouth, or whatever. You can sort of see what it does, you know? Now, again, that's a very simple example of a switch, but you get the point, right? Like what the switch layers work and how they function. It's obvious. Your passion's contagious. Thank you, sweet. Okay, hello there. I'm new, so I don't know much about creating animation. Just a question: is there an app for free? Yes, there is actually. When so I use a couple free animation softwares. There's one called Pencil 2D, which will do frame by frames. There's another one called Synfig, which is completely free, and it will do pretty much everything I'm doing right here. Both of those are free. There's another free animation software called TubiTube. That one does frame by frames animations as well. All those are completely free, and you can download them. You can learn. You can get involved. And you know the thing is like I was just saying. I don't know if you heard me, Windsheet, but I was like, you know, the best way to start is just start. You know, don't worry about it. Just get into it. I should get back into streaming animation too. I haven't in some months. Yeah. So most of my streams are going to be creative based, whether I'm drawing or I'm animating. They're generally always going to be creative based. That's pretty much what I do. Usually I'm drawing. Every once in a while we'll do some animation stuff, but generally it's going to be about creating art in general. So, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that, Winchester. Yeah, but those softwares right there are completely free, and you can absolutely... We just showed one, actually, right here, Winchester. Like, this is called Pencil 2D, right? And so what's great about this software is it's all frame-by-frame based, right? But you could come in here, and this is a very quick, again, very quick... We should probably just leave this animation up when people come in and ask. This is a very quick ball-bouncing animation, but you can see where you can essentially create a quick hand-drawn... And you see right there? We just animated that. Just like that. We're done. You know, now again, that was what? 10 seconds? So, I mean, if you spend more time, this software actually has layers. It supports onion skinning. You can export to movie files with this. You can export to GIF files with this. So you can get started learning how to animate and the basics of animating between frames right here with the software for completely free. And it's a really, really good piece of software. Hey, Odin. What are you doing, buddy? Is it raining again? Yeah, it's raining again. Thank you for the spark. Appreciate it, sweet. Alright, so that's good. I like the way that's looking. We'll just have this loop, I think is what we're doing. We're going to do a very short loop because this is just literally going to run right to where we want it to go. So we're going to go 96. go 90. We'll go back to the beginning. Go 96. Well, hey there, Odin. How are you? That's my doggy's name. That was Odin right there. He was coming to let me know it's raining again. Which is good. After this heat, we need some freaking rain. Oh, and the other thing with my channel, real quick, while I'm thinking about it, folks, is you probably noticed we keep it very PG here, very family friendly. So everyone's welcome in the stream, and that's sort of the way I run my streams. Is I want it to be available to everyone, regardless of age or knowledge level. Like, I want this to be something that people can learn from, get inspired by, and just go. You know what I mean? Yeah, I did. I didn't know you were in there, but yeah, that's Odin. He's walking around. I have 2 Great Danes. I've got Bo. He's an old man Great Dane, and then Odin is the other Great Dane. Bo's right here, but he's camera shy. He won't come on the camera, will you, buddy? No. All right, buddy. Yep. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Doing really good. Yeah, right. Okay, let's get back to this for a second. We got the hand movement, we got the head movement, we got the arm, we got this. Let's finish my daughter. So we'll go to... I don't think we're actually going to change her mouth. That's too funny, isn't it? You're probably like, how does this guy know I'm in here? What are you doing, Odin? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? That's Odin. Alright, stop, Odin. You're hitting the microphone, buddy. Hitting the microphone. Come over here. Come over here. Hey, Dragon. What's up, buddy? Thank you for the hose, dude. How you doing, sir? Yeah, that's Odin right there, Odin. Damn. Hose type. Thank you, Dragon. How you doing today, buddy? Thank you for that hose, sir. You must have heard me saying Odin so many times, so he comes running in. Hey, Sindhu. Thank you for that follow, Odin. I appreciate that. Thank you. Alright, so let's animate the back of my daughter. I want her torso to wiggle a little bit while we do this. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to come back over here. We're gonna get some be right back text going, and we're going to animate the text as well. We're going to kind of play with that. We just haven't done it yet. Hey, Lauren, how are you? Alright, so let's get my daughter animated a bit. Got some progress. Nice, dude. I'm working on a new be right back screen, man. I'm animating... we're going to keep the slideshow here in this box like normal, but we're going to have me, my daughter, and my cat sort of over here animated a little bit. So the be right back screen will actually have a slight bit of animation to it. And so we're kind of playing around with it right now. And so what I'm getting ready to do is put a slight twist in my daughter's body and kind of have her hair and stuff moving a little bit. And we're just going to kind of play around with it and see what we can come up with, man. I'm doing good, buddy. How are you? And then we got to make her blink as well. So... I'm going to, Fail. I haven't yet. We're going to have the ice sort of bouncing in the cup a little bit. We'll do that here shortly. I'm trying to figure out, because I'm kind of going step by step to figure out what I want to do or how I want to do this. Figure this out, how I want to do this. What program is this? This is called Moho, Sindhu. Right there. It's called Moho. It is a vector-based animation software that allows you to do, like, this is actually 2D vector images that have been manipulated to almost look three-dimensional. But that is actually one flat image that was manipulated with bones within the program. So basically, you rig the bones, right? Once you've rigged the bones, you can then animate said bones or animate said shapes. And so you can do some cool stuff with it. And I've been learning how to do, like, motion graphics in here and stuff. Different things like that. Hey, Dale, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah. What's up, fellas? Alright, so let's work on my daughter here. Alright, let's go here, and I think what we'll do... We'll have her head move a little bit, which is going to be everything down to here. Right? It's going to be everything down to right there is going to be her head. And then the hair front as well. Yeah. Definitely could. So, Odin, it's not So okay, I'm not gonna lie and say it's not complicated to start, right? It's one of those things. It's one of those things. Like I think it's like anything in life, right? Like if you're gonna, hey King, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
We got a new follower.
Terminator, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, guys. So let's reset this here. Actually, we're going to go hair front, hair back. And we're going to grab the face. Yeah, we'll go here.
Thank you for the diamond.
Gonna get some food. All right, Dragon. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the diamond and the ice cream and lemon. Appreciate that. Hey there, Eddie. How you doing? Terminator. Thank you for the lemon. Appreciate that.
Thank you for the lemon.
Okay, so what we're gonna do,
Thank you for the diamond.
we're gonna move the whole layer. Long time no see. Yeah. So I took like a month off of streaming in general, just because I had too much going on in real life. I had things I had to take care of, and so we're just now really getting back into things and sort of getting everything back under wrap and key. So I've been streaming now again for about 2 weeks, on and off. Just doing some little stuff, working on like some personal projects, and really what I'm doing now is just working on my own art for my own channel, working on animations and things like that, just kind of playing around. Let's go. This should be here. Yes. Which means I can animate all of this in one swoop. It is. Yep. There you go. Yep. I don't know why that's not working, King. I apologize. This software right here is called Moho. The software that I created the art in is Affinity Designer, but I have no idea why the software command isn't working. It stopped working. I got to look at it later. Thanks for the lemons, Legend. Thank you, Odin. I appreciate that. Not you, Odin. Not you. Wrong Odin. You're good, buddy. You're good. It wasn't you. I was talking to somebody else. I was talking to...
Thank you for the ice cream.
Poor Odin. Every time I say it, he's like, hey, wait, what did I do? Thank you for the ice cream, Eddie. Still checking. You're alright. You're okay, Odin. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I appreciate any donations anyone gives. It used to be Anime Studio. That's exactly right, King. This is, it was Anime Studio, whatever they called it, and then Smith Micro changed the name to Moho. I think like 2 versions ago they changed the name to Moho. I know what we'll do. We will come here. And... Yep. And we will... see what this looks like. Yeah, I don't like the way it handles that. That's the only thing I wish I could change on it, is sort of that. But I guess if I manually come in and do this, and you guys have to bear with me, I am still relatively new at animating and this software in general. Okay, so it is possible. We can do a little bit of a motion from here. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Sindhu. I appreciate that. We do try to keep it a very relatively low-key stream. We were actually talking about that earlier. I like to keep the stream very friendly, very open, because I want it to be open to all age ranges, all people. We keep it very family-friendly, and I want it to be something that allows people to sort of come in and learn and have a good time and just sort of be able to learn and be inspired, right? Like, nothing against streams that aren't, you know, more low-key and things like that. It's just, I feel that, like, what I try to do as a streamer is I try to influence and inspire and help people learn. So it's more about the art and just chatting and keeping a nice place for everybody to sort of have fun. You know what I mean? That's really what I do. I received Anime Studio as a gift when I was in middle school. It was too complicated for me, then I could probably do it now. There you go, sweet. Adobe Character Animator. Never played with it. Crazy Talk. Okay, so King, I have used Crazy Talk. Now, I can tell you one big difference between Crazy Talk and Moho. They animate very similar, The difference is you can't really make the art in Crazy Talk where you can in Moho. Moho, you can actually create the asset. You can actually create vector art within Moho, which you can't do in Crazy Talk. Crazy Talk is about importing assets, creating elements, and then animating the elements. Whereas in Moho, you can either import them or you can create them right in the same software. Those are the big differences. But Crazy Talk is a great piece of software. Adobe Character Animator I've never used, however. Yeah, see, like, if we make a new file, check this out. I can actually come right in here. Look at this. We can make vector art right here. There you go. We just made a vector shape. We can add points to that shape. We can manipulate that shape. You can actually make assets right here within the software. So you can animate them right here, right? Crazy Talk that is the huge difference. You cannot draw in Crazy Talk. That's one of the only reasons I didn't learn Crazy Talk was because of that, right? Hey, Bill, how you doing? That was one of the reasons I went with this. Because, like, let's say I created this assets outside and brought them in, right? And I wanted to add something small here. Well, instead of having to make one small thing, like let's say I wanted to add a highlight to the face here, I could just come in to the last stage, grab a tool, and I could, make an element for this if I wanted to, right? We just made a piece of vector art. So you can add small things right in. So it's up to you how you want to do it. What do you like more, Mixer or this? Okay, so Odin, the way I'll answer that is do whatever feels right to you. So I currently stream between Mixer, DLive, and YouTube. I restream to all three, right? I personally am not really a platform-specific person. I don't go for just one platform. For me, I want what I do to be accessible to as many people as possible. So the way I would look at that, the way I would answer that question is take a look around Mixer, take a look around DLive, sort of figure out what you like about, see what you like about each platform, and then maybe decide how you want to move forward from there, right? I like all the platforms. So, having said that would really be my suggestion. I draw almost half of my life. I started to do Pixel on my phone and animate. Well, there you go. I mean, the thing is so I'll tell y'all a really cool story. I stopped doing art for over 20 years. So that gives you some idea how old I am, right? So I stopped doing art for over 20 years. I was actually going to be an art major in college. And so I decided that once I got to college, I was going to go into IT. So I didn't go in for art at all. I left art behind me. I didn't do it again for over 20 years. I had my daughter, and I slowly started getting creative with her again. We started making small things together and things like that. And then one day I was like, you know what? I never did digital art before in my life. This was about 2-3 years ago. I was like, I'd never done digital art before. So I was like, you know what? I want to do digital art. So I just started learning. I started learning how to make pixel art, started learning how to make vector art, and I just started diving into it. And I learned every little thing I could to just sort of keep moving forward. And so here we are. Thank you for the follow, Bill. I appreciate that. Yes, exactly, King. Yes, you can make assets in here. Where, again, Crazy Talk, it animates the same way, but you can't create assets in there. Again, that's the only reason I don't use it. Yeah, me too, sweet. It's one of those things, I loved it so much when I was young, and I never envisioned giving it up, but it was just one of those, for whatever reason, real life happened, kids, marriage, that kind of stuff, and I just never really took the time to get back into art. And so when I had my daughter, it was like, of course, having kids, you start doing things like that again, and you begin to realize how much you loved it, and so you just sort of dive back in. All right, Odin. So here's a fun fact. I don't use a tablet at all. Every piece of art you see me make is made with a mouse and keyboard. I own 2 tablets. I don't touch them. Now let me preface that. The style of art that I do, you don't really need a tablet, okay? I do vector art. So it's very easily done with a mouse and keyboard. But every single thing you see in that slideshow, everything you see me make on screen is all made with a mouse. All of it. I have a graphics tablet. Here's my pen, way up there. I had to reach for it. I don't use it. So for people that say you can't make art with a mouse and keyboard, baloney. You absolutely can. And I wouldn't let anyone tell you that because that's not true. Now, does that not mean that certain styles of art might be a little bit harder? Absolutely. But you can certainly make art with a mouse and keyboard. I mean, I'm living proof. I do freelance art. I do art for streamers. I make logos. I make all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? If you don't touch your tablet, maybe you can send them to me. Nah, they were too expensive to give away. So here's the thing with them. I dabble with them once in a blue moon, Cindy, right? Like once in a blue moon. But I just, for whatever reason, every time I go to use them, I'm just not comfortable with them. You know what I mean? And I prefer my mouse and keyboard. See, I'm an old school gamer, right? I grew up playing Counter-Strike. I grew up playing these things. So for me, a mouse and keyboard is like an extension of my hands. It just works. You know what I mean? Like, it just is the way that I am. So for me, mouse and keyboard is completely comfortable. I like that. I like that. That's got a nice subtle movement to it. So we're gonna get in here. We're gonna animate these ice cubes a little bit and see if we can't sort of get that rocking and rolling. All right, now for her head, let's come back up here. Let's get some of these points going. Okay. Yeah, I hear that a lot when people are like, "Oh, well, you know, you need to." You know, you have to have a tablet to draw, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't really agree with that. I don't agree with that, because here's the thing, and this is the honest truth, right? Hey, Deja, what's up, buddy? I'm old school, right on, man. Now, here's the thing. I'm left-handed, so it's nice drawing because I grew up with it using a mouse right hand, right? And performs like a wave. Yep. Get the XP pen or the Huon tablets are really good too. I've got friends that are having great experiences with those. The thing is this. I like to give people a way to get into art for free or nothing, you know, with as little cost as possible. Because it's one of those things where, like, I don't want people to think there's too many barriers for getting into art, right? And money's one of them. And I hate for someone to not be able to get into art or not be able to get inspired just because they don't have $200 for a tablet and they don't have $400 for a piece of software. So I constantly look for free softwares and ways that help people. So when someone says, hey, I'd love to animate, do you know any free software? I could say, yeah, here you go. You know what I mean? Because at that point, it's on them to say, you know what, I'm going to dive into this and I'm going to go for it. You know what I mean? Yep. Right. Yep. Yeah, we're going to do the blink right now, Sindhu. I found a tablet for $50. I'm hoping I'll buy it. There you go. There you go. Yep. There's too many options out there now besides Wacom, right? Like, if you look at Wacom, they're a great company, but they're sort of like the Adobe of the tablets. Like, right? They're the premier one, but there's other options out there, you know? Yep. Right. Yeah. All right, cool. Oh, you're good, sweet. I don't mind at all. I really don't mind. Like, it's I'm pretty good at being able to multitask and keep things rolling. You sort of learn these abilities when you start streaming. You get really used to doing what you're doing and paying attention because, you know, it's part of streaming. You want to be able to engage with the people that are here. Hey, Mango, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. Thank you. Much appreciated. Been very good support today. I really appreciate it, guys. Yeah, you're not kidding, King. You're not kidding. They're expensive, man. All right, so now we need to animate. Yeah, we need to animate this.
Welcome, everyone.
Deja vu. Thank you for the host, buddy. I appreciate that. All right, so we've got her. We've got that one blink at the end. Nice. Okay, so we got that little blink, and we're doing it on a 96. We're doing a 4-second animation, right? And we're going to loop it around, so it'll be 4 seconds, and it'll just be a constant loop cycle. Native and next. Oh, really? Starting to want to learn digital art. Thank you for giving so much attention to chat. Of course, Wolfling. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You know, So I'm the type that, so for me, streaming has always been about, I feel like streamers in general, not just myself, I feel like we have a responsibility, in my opinion, that we have the power to be able to inspire and to be able to really promote growth for other people, right? Like, my takeaway from all this is that maybe one day somebody will come at me with some animations that are just awesome, and I'll be like, hey, you inspired me to do this. That's the best feeling in the world, you know, because like, you hope that what you do at the end of the day can help someone else to grow or learn or be inspired or just have a place to come in and have friendly chat, you know what I mean, and be able to just sort of hang out and have a good time and just be, you know what I mean, just be welcoming. We need more of that in this world. So you can use the I have an iPad Pro. You guys are gonna with an Apple Pen. Um, Again, it gets very little use.
Thank
I
you for the ice
I use it. I do use it, but it's up and down, right? It comes and goes.
ice cream.
I do have a Discord, Sindhu. Is it not in? Are the
Thank you for the ice
are the
cream.
commands not working at all? Why are they not working?
Thank you for the ice cream.
Thank you for the ice cream, Daddy. I appreciate that. I don't know why. Why did my commands decide to up and stop? I had them working. I don't know. I'll have to look. I apologize for that. I'm not sure why that's doing that. Yeah, I don't know why. Because I have them in there as a... Let me check my thing real quick. Give me a second here, folks. Live chat overlay. Try... There you go. So the software one should work now as well. Yep. Yep. There we go. And what I'll do is I will add some more stuff into those commands. I'll add Moho. I'll add a link for Moho and stuff in there as well. And for some, you know what? I'll go ahead. Maybe I should do like a free software command. What do you guys think of that? Do like a free software command? Thank you for the spark, sweet. I appreciate that. Maybe we'll do like a free software command where it can be like, if someone wants to know like a list of free stuff, they can say like, you know, it'll have pencil 2D. I'll do that. I'll do that off stream tonight. I'll make a software and then I'll make a free software command. That way people can see like free stuff if they're interested in just, you know, the free side of it. Thank you, Sindhu. I appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna go right here to the hair back, and I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna experiment here with a minute. We're going to group with selection. We're going to call this airflow. We're going to go here. We're going to call this hair flow, and we're going to turn this into a bone layer. And we're going to try something with this hair. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to be real with you. This is going to be a little weird. Moho is not free, Sindhu, unfortunately. It is a paid software. You're on the front page being first, and almost 60 people watching. Right on. Very good. This dude needs more followers. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's, you know... It's so here's another cool part. I've not shown you guys this yet. You can actually do drawn bone. Check this out. You see that? It automatically links the bone. So you can do bone manipulation. Now I know this is not a very good example, but watch this. We'll redo this. So like let's say you had a tail for like the cat, for example. Right? For the cat, we're going to use this. We're going to draw the bones and it'll make articulated bones like this. So that's really good for like tails and wings and things like that. You see that? So as you move one bone, you see how it moves them all in succession? I don't know how well that shows up on the screen. But that's a really cool feature. We're going to try that for the hair, I think. Why not? Let's see what it does. Now that's only grabbing the hair that's in the layer behind it. So, you see how that's making that sort of move? And no matter where we drag, now that is the top bone, right? So this is what happens when you don't make a root bone. Let's explore that real quick so you guys can sort of see how that works. If you click on, there's a reason you use root bones. If we click on this last bone, you see how it moves the whole element, right? The reason you make a root bone is, check this out. You make a root bone like this. You'll see why, right? Then you come in and you make the child to that root. Now the reason you do that is now it only moves if I move the root bone. If I move this, you see how it stays connected? That is the reason people use root bones. Because the root bones stay static, so you can use the other bones to create movement. Like this. See? Yeah, right? Yeah. So what I want to do is we're going to drop down that bone's influence a little more. And we're going to sketch this out a little bit tighter, right? All the way down to the bottom, right? I'd say right about there. Good. Now, let's play with what this looks like. Okay. We'll just put a little hair motion in there, I think. We'll start with a little bit of this to see if we can get a little motion going here. Yeah. You know, and these are little principles that I picked up. And so, if we look at this animation now, we've got her little popsicle, lollipop moving in her hand. We've got her little legs kicking. We're going to put a little animation in there. We've got her eyes doing that blink, right? So that's perfect. Now we're going to do a little hair animation. So let's go here. We'll freeze the frames. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. I don't normally stream animation. Do you guys like watching the animation process, or do you think you guys would prefer watching the art process? I find both to be pretty fascinating. But I'm just curious what you guys think. And we'll come back one more time. Awesome. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. I feel like sometimes with animations, you're going to lose people a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things where... Okay, so that looks pretty cool right there. Now we got her sitting on the desk doing her little thing. Both. Right on. Thanks, Dragon. I appreciate it. Thanks for the feedback, y'all. You inspired me, honestly. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Free. So satisfying. Any type of art I love. Right, I'm in the same boat. I love watching art. I find animation interesting. Thank you, sweet. I love watching art in general. And I feel like it's just a great thing to be able to share with people, you know? This is going to be a really cool Be Right Back screen. This is going to be a lot of fun. And see, so I'll show you guys, for anyone who's just checking in, my Be Right Back screen currently looks like this. So what we have here is we have that little slideshow with my art in it, right? Well, that little window you see that the art is in is going to maintain. It's going to stay the same. It's going to be this window here. So essentially, we'll have this video as the overlay for the Be Right Back screen with the slideshow just in the smaller window here. So that way it'll give people two things to look at. First, it'll be the slideshow, and it'll be the animation that's going on as well. So it'll be, you know, 60 people. Back in the day, it was so hard to find someone that showed the animation process. Yeah, King. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Sindhu. We're going to do something with the cat. I don't know what yet, but we're going to work on that. Very pleasant hearing you talk. Well, thank you, Eddie. People always say I have a nice voice, but I think everybody hates hearing their own voice, right? Like, I think that's sort of an innate thing. Nobody's really happy with their voice, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe some people are. I've always been sort of like, you know. But I appreciate the comments. I really do. Thank you, Eddie. All right, so let's start with, we're going to animate the ice in the cup. We've got the hand. This is one of my favorite parts right here. The hand with the fingers. That looks really cool. The way that's moving back and forth on the screen there. Oh, and you see the pixelation here? It will not render pixelated. I want to stress that real quick. When this renders out, that pixelation will not be there. The reason that it looks that way is because it rendered better while it in a chop process, right? Chop, thank you for the follow. Do you support someone's channel? I'm not sure I know what you mean there, Emmer. Do you mean, do I support other people, or do I do art for other people? I'm not quite sure I know what you mean there. I don't think I sound the same on video replays. Really? See, Deja, it's funny you say that. When I hear myself back, I don't sound the same. At least I don't think so. I agree with you on that. Oh, so free. What I'm talking about is when I switch my scenes in, not my offline screen, free. My be right back here in OBS. So when I click over to my, like if I'm going to go to the bathroom or something, I'll say be right back and I'll throw the screen up, right? Instead of leaving it on my regular screen, right? So what I'm saying is my manual screen that I switch to, basically it'll be animated. Right, exactly. Yeah. You support my girlfriend's channel? Not even sure who that is, buddy. I apologize. We're thinking offline banner. Right. You were thinking, yeah, right. Yep. This is just going to be a little thing for the Be Right Back screen. And eventually, because there's some new faces in here, this is the starting soon screen. We animated this last week. And this is basically what it looks like when I'm starting soon. It's just me and my daughter again. You'll notice most of the things on this channel revolve around me and my daughter. But that's me and my daughter on a boat with these little animals sort of jumping in and out of the water and stuff, just having fun. And that was like a test of doing a full stream animation. And I'm still learning and still trying to figure it out. But it's basically just having fun with the process of it and learning it. So my goal is to have like my starting soon screens, to have like my be right backs, everything be animated. And then just kind of keep adding on to them, you know what I mean? And that's really where I'm going to go with it. Okay, that looks good. Alright. Yeah, okay, so we're good there. Let's start on the cat. And then what we'll do, we'll start on the cat, we'll get him moving toward done. And then what we'll do is, once we have that finished, we'll come back and we'll kind of do an overhaul of the entire thing. And then we'll get some text up here that says be right back, and we'll animate the text. And then we'll test it out live so you guys can see what it actually looks like. Singer, when I listen to my records, that gives me gross... Yeah, right, Eddie. Nick? Demalia? No idea, Emmer, sorry. It's incredible. Thank you, Free. Just feel like computer dummy right now. Don't, Chop. Don't. Do you do everything in Moho, or do you animate in other places? I do animate in other places as well. I've animated with Synfig, Pencil 2D, TubiTube, AceBright. So I do pixel art animations as well, like in this software. So, like, let's go with this here. This was actually a pixel art animation that we made for a birthday stream. So when we hit play on this, you're going to see the cake explode right next to the cat, and it sort of hits the screen, right? So I do pixel art stuff, just kind of play around with all different kinds of animations, and everything is sort of a self-taught process, and it's just kind of learning as you go, and you know, that's the thing, is I spend a lot of time not on stream or in my own personal time just learning this stuff, and then when I don't look like a complete dum-dum, then I take it over to stream, and you know, we kind of go from there. Alright, so we're going to go to the cat. Here we go. Now, I don't know if I want to make the whole cat a... Let's turn his eyelids off real quick. And then we'll make those visible as we need them. Alright, that way he's not in a permanent blink. And again, we'll enable the eyelids as needed. Okay, good. So we're going to do... We know for sure we're going to take his tail. And we're going to group it with a bone layer. So we're going to call this tail. There we go. Thank you for the follow, Free. I appreciate that. Free, thank you for the monthly sub. Wow, thank you guys. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Really do appreciate that support, folks. Alright, so let's try to draw this tail and see what kind of... I don't know how effective this is going to be since the tail is so small. It's only going to be 2 bones. Let's see what that looks like if we manipulate it. Not sure I like that. Let's do a root bone so that it doesn't move the back. And then we'll try to draw it again. So we'll start way back here where the tail... Well, actually the tail would be way back here, right? And we'll have to play with that. I might have to do it... I have an idea how we might do that differently. Being a single dad as well, just to hold some... Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. I feel like, you know, I get some flack from some people about it because, you know, they... You know, so many streamers, and again, there's nothing wrong with it. So many streamers have a persona and they have, you know, the way that they stream. And I just feel like we can do so much just trying to be wholesome. You know what I mean? And try to be good. You know what I'm saying? Gaming V Lounge, thank you for the follow. Aishi, thank you for the follow. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. This is called Moho. This is going to be Moho right there. This is a vector-based animation software that allows you to animate. So we're actually in the process of animating right now. This is going to be my new Be Right Back screen. We made the art in a program called Affinity Designer, and then we're animating the art here right now. How long does it take to learn this? That depends on how much time you have to spend on it, to be frank. It has taken me about 3 to 4 months to get to this point with it, using it 3 to 4 times a week for a couple hours. But I also have other knowledge of, knowledge of animation in general. So that helps quite a bit. That helps considerably, actually. Showstopper, thank you for the follow. Wow, thank you guys. Oh, thank you for the sub. Wow, guys, thank you so much. Wow, what an amazing day. This is quite a treat. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate that. So the artwork can be done in this. I drew the artwork over here in a program called Affinity Designer because I like the vector tools that are in this software a little bit better. You can draw the art in Moho, though. It does have vector drawing tools in them, yeah. Make the cat lay down or jump off the table. We could. I don't think I want to go that advanced with this animation, though, Sindhu. Like, if we were to do something like that, I'll show you my going live screen. Let's go over here. Here is the going live screen. We'll open this up so you guys can see. And we did something cool the other day, too. I'm not sure what you guys think about this. I've been playing with mixing, like, real pictures and my own personal art. I've been sort of playing with marrying those two together. And I think I want to explore this more because I think it creates a really unique sort of sequence where you can do some really cool stuff with it. Not only that,
Thank you for the lemon.
I could animate this, which would also look really, really cool. Thank you, Free. Thank you, Show. I appreciate it. Handy Dandy, thank you for the lemon. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm calling it mixed media, because that's essentially what it is. It's a standard picture, right? But then we're taking the vector art, which is the little robot dude, and we're essentially going into it. I do gaming. So I do IT for a living. That is my, by default, by day, is as IT. And then I do, so I have generally a pretty good PC, but I also use it for work. So it's kind of up and down there. Hey, Caillou, how you doing? Sahel, sub for 3 months. Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that. What's up, Odin? Sahel, thank you so much, man. How you doing, Caillou? Good to see you. It's going good. Odie, I gotta use my pen. I gotta use my mouse, buddy. I gotta use my mouse. We were just discussing some different art I've been doing. So if we look at this one, this will kind of show you here, Sindhu. This is a full screen animation. This is the going live animation. So you're going to see a lot more going on here. Like you're going to see, but I drew the characters in a way so that, you know, they jump and they pop up and down and things like that. There's a lot going on here. Well, Sahal, I really do appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Thank you for the ice cream. Yeah. That's sweet. Thank you for the sparks. But, I mean, there's a lot we can do with this software. And then I was showing this earlier. Like, I've been learning how to do motion graphics in the software. So I made this camera. But I did it in the style of... motion graphics, right? So, pretty cool.
Thank you for the lemon.
Yeah, of course, gaming. MTA just... Sahal, dude, thank you. MTA, just for the follow. Thank you. Thank you for the lemons. Wow, thank you guys. Wow. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot we can do with this software. There's a whole lot. And then, of course, you know, I do vector art, I do pixel art, I do all that stuff as well. So, like, you guys will see, like, all different kinds of stuff. I do, you know, isometric stuff. I do all kinds of just things in general. This was one I did recently. It was really cool. I did this sort of a fantasy scene, sort of like fading into the front. You know what I mean? Like this. We do all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? And thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think I've caught your stream a couple times too, but I don't think I've actually talked in there, but I've been pretty busy. But I do follow you, and I think I've seen you a couple times. If the name rings a bell. So thank you.
Thank you for the ice cream.
Yes, I've caught yours too. I do commissions. Yes, I do. Free. Chop, thank you for the ice cream. Wow, guys, thank you so much. All right, let's keep animating this. Oh, of course, thank you. I love art. I watch a lot of art streams. Like, I'm the type of streamer, I don't mind watching a game stream every now and then, right? But I love going in and watching other art streams. Love doing it. You know. You heading out, Sindhu? Take care. No worries. So you do your own animated stickers as well, or do you? Because we've actually been talking a lot about animation doing all this. Hey Zayton, how you doing?
We got a new.
Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you. I think I'm following you. Let me double check.
We got a new.
Pretty sure I am.
Follower.
No neck, thank you for the follow. Wow, guys, thank you so much. It's been a heck of a day. Wizard V, I've caught Wizard V before. I've caught him before as well. Yep. Oh, cool. Well, I'll have to come in there and check you out some more. So for anyone that knows, I took like a month off streaming a couple weeks ago because I was just way too busy. I had a lot of things going on. So I'm just getting really back into it. No, I don't use Deviant too much. If you look, I believe right here, that should pull it up. My Twitter and my Instagram are where I upload most of my stuff, gaming. And then my YouTube, on my YouTube I do tutorials. I do vector art tutorials. I do all kinds of tutorials. I do tutorials on like video editing software. I do tutorials on all kinds of things. So if you want to follow me there, I post almost all my art. Everything I do is on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it stays pretty up there. Thank you so much, Nonak. I appreciate that. He's like the Bob Ross. Yeah, I've caught Wizard a couple times. Right, yeah, well, we could do that, Winchester. Yeah, sure. You started on D-Live last month. Yeah, and I've caught you a couple times. I know I have. I'll make it a point to come in there and say hi to you next time you're streaming. How's that? You suck at working vectors. So, it's funny, because I could say the same thing. Like, I tried a digital paint, and it is scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is super scary. Like, I just don't, my brain has just disconnected with it. But vectors, I got no problem. You know what I mean? It just gels right in. Does anyone remember Pappy's Land? I don't. Hey, Team GVL, how you doing? So, for anyone that's curious, we are currently restreaming between Mixer, D-Live, and YouTube. We brought YouTube into the fold last night, and so we're currently on 3 different platforms. So, I hope you guys can all read the chat on the screen and everything, but thank you guys. Thank you. And real quick, while we have some new faces here, if you guys have any questions for me, the style of art I'm doing, the softwares I'm using, feel free to ask. We do sort of a teaching stream as well as an art stream. I don't mind answering questions. If I can help you in any way, sort of, answer some questions on this stuff, feel free to ask. Absolutely. Drawing for kids? No, doesn't ring a bell. All right, so we got me started animating. We got her. I keep resetting here. All right, Kitty Cat. You understand, right? Yeah, it's completely different, but Oh, gaming. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Well, if you ever have any vector questions and I can help you, hit me up. Oh, very cool. All right. So let's get back to the cat's tail. Sorry, guys. I appreciate y'all being understanding. We got a lot of people in here chatting. I'm trying to make sure I can talk to everybody. I like trying to, make sure I'm involved with everybody. And thank you guys, everybody, so much for the donos today, for the follows, for just the absolute immense support. It is greatly appreciated. And I do appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank you so much. Let me figure out how we want to rig this tail so that we can animate it. We're going to take the strength off of I think we're actually going to animate the tail ourselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a bunch of little bones. Because I don't like the way it's drawing that big bone. Alright, just like this. Perfect. Oh, right on. I've never heard of that. Okay, so bone strength here is way too high on these. So we're going to turn this down a bit so we have a little bit tighter control, I think. And then let's see what this looks like. Now you see that? Now it's starting to look like a cat's tail. You see that? Now we can sort of bounce this thing around on the screen like a cat's tail, you see? Alright, cool. So now we have much more fluid animation of that tail because we just rigged it with those bones. Yeah, it is all rigging. It's all rigging. And what's cool about this too is check this out. You can actually do frame by frame animation in the software as well. If you go in here, there is a frame by frame layer that is specific to frame by frame. So you can actually do frame, frame, frame. You can do full frame by frame Disney style animation or what would be regular style animation. You can do both in the software. And what's cool is you can mix a frame by frame layer with a regular tween layer, right? With a bone layer. You can mix them together. So you can have a frame by frame layer playing over top of a bone layer and vice versa. So you can mix them all together to create your whatever it is you're trying to work on. You know, so it allows you to create some really cool stuff. Yeah, which is very unique because it's one of those things where you can kind of do both. You don't just have to do one or the other, right? You can just play it any way you want, which is really nice. Hey there, Fox. How you doing? Yeah.
We got a new
Hey, man with memes. Thanks for the follow, bud. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We got a new follower.
This is called Moho. It's actually, I need to add that to my software list. This is actually made by Smith Micro, which is the same people who make Clip Studio Paint. And so I own Clip Studio. I don't use it that often, but I own Clip Studio, right? But it's made by Smith Micro, the same people. So if you own any Smith Micro software, you're gonna see it's right there in that same vein. Vectors are fantastic for thumbnails. Yes, team. I'm doing really good, Fox. How are you? Not necessarily, Benz. We'll do a quick... I'll give you a real quick rundown on why vectors are so amazing. We'll take a quick break real fast, and I'll show you guys something pretty awesome. Because a lot of people... So here's a picture of Chewy that I made. Alright? Now this is a really good case use point for why vectors are so cool and why I enjoy them. So when you do a traditional raster image, resizing can be quite complicated. Because if you try to blow up, you're going to lose clarity. Okay? And so this is a 1080 by 1080 pixels. Well, let's make a copy of old Chewy here, right? We'll just copy him over. Now, let's start scaling him, right? Now, what you're going to notice is as we start scaling Chewy down, he's going to look exactly the same at any size. He's never going to lose resolution, right? So what's really cool about this, you can create it any size you want and then scale it up or down wherever you want to go. And you will never lose resolution. We can keep going smaller. Look at this. Look at that in comparison to how big the original is. And watch when we zoom in. It's just as clean as the big one. So what you're essentially talking about is like a PNG, I think, Ben. Use Clip Studio for everything. Man, what do you mean? Thank you for the diamond, buddy. Heard about you. Stopped by. Knew I had to follow. Well, thank you so much, dude. I really do appreciate that. They don't pixelate high. Right. So basically, you can scale this stuff up and down indefinitely. And you can do some really cool stuff with it. So you'll notice I call it sloppy art when I draw. Because, like, let's say I want to make something for a scene. I don't care how big I draw it. Because once I'm ready to scale it and put it where I want, I'll just resize it. And then put it wherever I want it. I don't really worry about, oh, it's too big, it's too small, it's whatever. I just make it and then I put it where I want it. Because it has, you know, it basically going where it needs to go. And then you just resize it at that point. That's one of the really cool parts about vector art. And then, yeah, you can just do some really fun stuff with it. So this right here, Wild Fox, this is actually called Affinity Designer. Thank you for the diamond, Showstopper. Wow, thank you guys. Nice. I tried to make some personal face images for Twitch and could never downsize properly. Yes. So, Ben, that's what you want to do. And I have some free vector art programs if you guys are interested in those as well. Takes me 3 times longer, though. Exactly. Balloon Card, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. And thank you for the sparks. Never heard of vector art. Definitely interested after watching you with the past 10 minutes. Yeah, man. It's really cool stuff. And if you guys ever have a question, feel free to hit me up. Was an image with that checkerboard background, standalone. That's a PNG image, Ben. So that's basically just a transparent image. Right. Yep. So this is vector. So like, I'll give you an example here. Like, let's say we wanted to make my daughter a sticker on the back of this laptop. We would literally just copy this over and scale it down, right? So here we go. Now my daughter's a sticker on the back of that laptop. And if we zoom in here, she looks exactly the same there as she did over there. There's no separation in quality, right? That's one of the really cool parts about vector art. It is so easily, any free software. So I would recommend Inkscape would be one. And then there's another one called Affinity Designer. Both of those are free. And they are great for learning on. It's art animations, yep. You can use Affinity is for creating the art, wild. And for animating, you're going to want to use another software. A lot just chilling here in 5 minutes. Yeah, and so what we usually do, Benz, is like, just like on my YouTube channel, I'll basically go slow and just kind of show people how to do things. But we'll open up Affinity Designer, which is the free software, so you guys can kind of see how that works. It is very similar. You make vector art with it. There is a paid version of the software, but you don't have to use it. And I will show you guys some of the things that I've made in this free software so you can see it is a fully capable vector software. Like we made this little pirate dude in here. This was made in Gravit, and this is a free vector art program, right? So, I mean, this is stuff like this. We've got stuff like this. We made this image in here. Again, free software. You can download this right now and use it for free. Now, there is a paid version of this where you get some extra pro features, but it's not necessary. And I have some videos on YouTube that walk you through using this software. I'm a GIMP guy. Just YouTube tutorials, certain skills, no schooling. Right, I'm completely self-taught, Ben. It's completely. Learning my own, too. Yep, right on. The time dedication, know how much more... Yeah, right. CorelDRAW, yes. I've heard of CorelDRAW. I don't use CorelDRAW, but I absolutely know what it is. Yeah. Ian, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Alright, let's get back to the animation here. Sorry, guys. Alright, let's animate the cat's tail. We're going to freeze it. And then we're going to do some slight animation to the cat's tail. So we'll kind of go like this. And we'll kind of wave it around. And we're going to try to make this look as organic as possible.
We got a new follower.
Hey, Ben, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, guys. Okay, so I want this to be a little bit... Looks a little too mechanical at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to speed up this timeline. And then we're going to change the way... Here's the other thing, guys. You can actually control the ease in, ease out. You can do bounce, elastic. You can do all kinds of stuff here. We'll do an ease in, ease out sort of motion and see what this does. Much better. And now what we'll do is we'll get the timing right. Hey, water bottle, how's it going? How are you? So we'll take this. We'll go here with it. Let's see what that does to the tail. Nah, we'll redo this. I'm not happy with where that's starting. Let's redo this. We want to make this look as organic as possible. So we're going to take the last frames. We're going to dump them here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to animate the tail kind of moving up. Let's see what that looks like just by itself. If we want this to be sort of a, you know how cats, they just sort of flutter their tail. It's not like a very heavy motion, right? We just want it to be sort of just sitting there moving. Not really this, we don't want a lot of fast flicker motion. Okay, good. Alright, now, for him, let's have his little ears move. And I think the way that we'll do that is we'll grab the right ears and left ears, and we'll just kind of have him, or you know what, I want to have his head, I think. Most cats are very inquisitive with their face, so let's play with that aspect a little bit. Maybe make the bones. You could. The thing with the bones is if we look at the power influence, you see that blue shading right there? That is called bone influence. So what that bone influence is doing is it's controlling it's controlling the area around the bone. So if you don't go the full length, like what we could do is we could experiment with just moving this one here, right? So like let's say we took this out. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And we went to the middle. We could experiment with moving this bone, right? But then the top of the tail almost looks static, but I mean you could do it. Or you could move from the tip like I did. You see how moving it from different bones is going to create different styles of movements, right? Like that would look like very alien. That just wouldn't look very good, I don't think. But we could go like this and just have it wiggle here like this. I mean, there's a lot of different, you could play with like what bone to move it from. So like this one here might be a good bone. So if we go here, we'll copy the first frames and we'll go back down to here and we'll go middle and we'll grab this bone and we'll just kind of move it over like this. And let's see what that looks like. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to ease in, ease out. There we go. You see what I mean? So depending on what bone you use to animate it is really going to dictate the actual flow and the movement. You know what I mean? I may have to spam chat, shake some water bottle chat level everywhere I go. Jeez. Yeah. But see, I like the way that looks right there, free. You see how that completely changed the way the motion worked? Because again, most cats, their tails aren't, unless they're angry, right? Their tails aren't just bouncing all over the place. It's sort of a slow, controlled sort of motion, right? So I think we'll roll with that, and we'll see. We'll let that ride for a while. All right, let's play with the head and see what we can do and get this done. And I like the idea of the blinking lights on the blinking lights on some of the above where it says "Be right back." I think that's a really good idea, and I think we'll play with that. My chat levels are so bad on Mixer, guys, like on some of my channels that I frequent, because I usually watch when I'm at work, so I'm not like talking a lot. Alright, so we're going to have the cat blink early. So what we'll do is we'll have him blink early on in the cycle. We'll go visible. We'll go out like 3 frames, and then we'll turn them off again. So I'm going to, I was actually talking about that earlier, Deja. We're going to start animating that. And what we'll do is that's going to be sort of a, let's call it a passion project. That's not going to be something that happens overnight, but we'll slowly start animating that. All right, so now we got the cat blinking. And I think it's really unique. Like, look at just the tail and the blinking, right? We've already started creating life there, right? And I mean, obviously, we're going to do more than that, but you can see how just looking at this, see my daughter's legs moving, look at her little lollipop moving, just the little things, her hair's sort of moving. You don't have to go too crazy with the animation. I mean, you can, but I mean, it's the little subtle movements that make all that difference, It depends on how far you want to go with it. I find that sometimes making things too animated can just seem unrealistic. I like to try to go for some semi-realism, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Let's grab the entire face. And we will go here, lower center. We'll grab this. Grab this, and let's see what this looks like if we rotate it. Nope, because each one of those is going to need their pivot point set. Okay, but that's fine. We'll do it. We'll go here. We're going to leave those because we don't really care what those end up looking like, because that's not going to really matter. Those will be fine. The collar we will do right there. Eyebrow we'll leave there. Eyebrow, left eye. Left eye is way over there. Okay, so we'll put left eye here. I'm setting the origin points in case anyone's wondering. The origin point is what controls the rotation as it moves. The origin point is going to give you, it's going to dictate how it rotates when you move or rotate the object. Very important thing. Yes, absolutely. I would agree 110%. And I'm still learning. It's one of those things like I tell people all the time, like, I still am learning and trying to figure things out, the eyes are like rotating on those origin points, so we're going to have to set those origin points to the bottom, which we will. We'll set them to the bottom of the eyes. So we'll go here. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, good. And then what we'll do is we'll get the ears involved in that motion as well. So the ears, we're going to set the... give it point to the same location. Okay. Now we'll do this again. Super sleep. Yeah, it is. So here's the thing. The debut version, okay, is like 40 or 50 bucks, I think. All right. Honestly, what most people do for animations can be done with the debut version. You don't necessarily need the premiere version. The premiere version is fantastic and it has some really cool features, but it is not a requirement for animating a lot of this, right? Right? But it's all where you want to start. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you for the follow and thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. Have a great, great day. All right, we're going to go here. We're going to add this, and we're going to add this. And, man, it is storming big time outside. Okay, let's go. We'll animate this back this way a little bit. And we'll just kind of keep this moving. And then we'll go right back to the center or the beginning animation for all of those.
We got a new follower.
Hey, Enough, how you doing? Was actually looking for alternative animation programs at the moment since CSP only support 24 frames. Ooh, so how about this? Okay, check out Pencil. Have you ever used Pencil? So Pencil allows you to do frame by frame with onion skinning. So again, if you do something like this, and we've done this a couple times today, but like, and it fully supports frames, and so we can do a real quick sort of a 2D animation, right? Let's loop that. There you go. Now, of course, I would spend more time on it, right? You're using Blender. But this fully supports 2D frame-by-frame animations, and it can output to video files, GIF files, things like that. Gamer Sass, what's up, buddy? How are you? This is a really cool piece of software. It's completely free. And you can do layers. You can do painting within layers. You can do different levels of brushes. So you can do like... you can do brushes that have more of like a dithered effect to them, you know? And then, of course, you can come in and you can choose... And you can, you know, paint within. And you can do shading. And you can use... paint buckets and things like that. But it's a really cool piece of software. And it is free. And it supports frames down here, as you can see. And might be worth looking into. And this supports... I don't think there is a limit to the amount of frames you can use in this. I don't know if you've ever tried it. But good to see everybody. And the cool part about that one there is that'd probably be closer in line to the type of animation, or not just animation, but the type of art that you do, or at least that I've seen you do. And, you know, it'd probably be closer to home for you. Pencil 2D, yep. Google it. It's completely free. Completely free. All right, let's go back to the beginning. How you doing today, Sass? We're animating my Be Right Back screen, buddy. Pencil 2D is great. You would probably have a blast with that, especially considering the style that you do. You'd probably be right up your alley. And there are some Pencil 2D tutorials out there on YouTube and stuff. And it's a great piece of software. Free. Yeah, of course. You're welcome. You're okay? Good. Glad you're here, bud. Yeah. You can see Darcy sitting over here with a little lollipop, right? Kicking her legs. So far, we've got me, the little mouse moving with the clicks on the mouse. And we've got the head movements and things like that. And we're just sort of working on it. Just kind of playing around. We drew the art in here, in Affinity, of course. And then I took it all over here to Moho to animate it. And I'm going to turn this into a video file. And then, essentially, I'll put it in the background. And then my slideshow will play right here. And then I'm going to animate some text right here. Oh, you're absolutely welcome. No worries. That's what I always tell people. Like, I try to keep like a running log of free stuff and cheap stuff for people because I know that not everybody has, you know, hundreds of dollars to throw at like hardware and or software or whatever the case may be, right? And it's one of those things where I like to be able to give people alternatives to help them get started or at least break into that without having to have this huge overhead cost. Because I know that it can be a really difficult thing to get involved or to get started, especially when you don't have a lot of money, you know, and looking at the style of stuff you make, that's right up Pencil 2D. Like, I absolutely think you would love Pencil 2D. Alright, so where I'm at right now is I am probably going to have to get going very, very soon because I have got to go pick up my little girl and we got to continue our vacation week. I think we're making brownies for dinner. Not sure yet. That's what she said. We'll figure it out. But anyways, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you, everyone, for the donations, for your time. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the questions. Just thanks for being here. We're going to be live again. What is today? Tuesday? I'll be live again tomorrow night. And we'll probably finish this up. And we'll take it live and we'll play with it. And as always, if you guys have any questions or anything you need from me, just feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys so much. Ben, thank you, buddy. Good to see you. Thanks. Good to see everybody. Sahal, thank you for the donos. Odin's coming in to say goodbye too. Thank you, sweet. Thanks, King, Caillou, everybody. Thank you guys so much today. It's been fantastic. Thanks, everybody. I will catch you guys later. And yeah, absolutely. Have a great day. Bye.